MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
Yes, yes, yes. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. Kyle Ledbetter is back behind the glass for us today. Thanks again to Ramsey for filling in. I know Anthony was helping out with the morning show. This is all because Chris Verlad's immune system isn't what it needs to be. Eat some tangerines, eat some oranges. I'm just kidding. Feel better, Chris.
I think he gets sick more than anyone at the station.
Well, what is he doing on the weekends, right? 916-339-1140. And it is a team effort here at the station. And that's how you get things done. And that's exactly how the Kings are going to get something done if they want to prove some people wrong. So we're going to discuss how the Kings can do that over the next 4 hours. We also have plenty of NFL to talk about. Kyle's back, so we can officially talk about how the refs have been cheating for the Chiefs. Of course, we are going to do that. We're also going to discuss some really big hitters here. You know, sometimes I'm creating the rundown and a lot of stuff just hits me at one time. And sometimes that's due to comments that I read and things like that. And somebody commented on, it might have been Carmichael Dave's post, I'm not sure, but somebody commented and said, what do you think Domas thinks about everything that's going on? What happens if, not having Keegan Murray doesn't go well and these first 20 games are a disaster? So it led me to think about whether or not Domantas Sabonis could ask out. And I can't wait to talk to Keith Smith of Spa Track at 11 o'clock because Keith will have a better feel on what Domas's market is. Maybe it's hard to ask out. That's like Zach LaVine, for example. Zach LaVine can't ask out, right? Unless he wants some type of buyout. But where the market lies for Domantas Sabonis, and I know I'm reading the comments, not even on my stuff, right? But I got the text line up, and I'll see comments, like I said, not necessarily on my show, some on my show. I'll see comments. I know talking about the Kings can be a little bit negative. So we've tried really hard to be positive in that way. And whenever we do discuss the Kings, it's going to be real. But we're going to have some positive. We're going to have some negative. So we're going to try to approach all of that as we get you ready for the upcoming season. We discussed the parity in the NFL, whether it is real or fake, because it could just be the Chiefs and Eagles again, or could somebody else actually emerge? Why does baseball hate baseball as it pertains to these early start times and things like that? Could Keegan Murray's injury actually cost the Kings Keon Ellis as well? And what do I mean by that? Carmichael Dave during Crosstalk asked me, am I of the mindset that Keon Ellis should start? And you would move, I don't know, a DeMar DeRozan to the 4. We know that hasn't worked before. But maybe it's something you try to figure out based on how things look day by day. Like a Pascal Siakam, for example. I think Pascal Siakam, although he's incredibly skilled, don't get me wrong, but from a size standpoint, you might be able to switch other guys and hang on and survive, right? If it's Aaron Gordon or Zion Williamson, you don't have anybody. So maybe it's a situation where you say, well, we just want the best defender in there, even if we're giving up. Maybe Keon is able to help better than if you had if you just plugged in Neek Clifford instead, right? And Neek Clifford still getting used to the NBA speed and things like that. So it's not as simple as we don't have anybody to guard the fours. We do discuss that, but it's not that simple, right? Or there are more layers to it. So we're going to discuss those layers. And if Keon starts and if Keon balls out, what does that do to his unrestricted free agency market? If Keon starts 20 games in, right before Keegan comes back, and Keon just absolutely is on fire, and February comes and the Kings say, hey, Keon, we want to give you this extension. As much as when we spoke to Keon during media day, he said, look, man, I would have liked for them to, come to this extension to me quicker, but it's all good. And I'm paraphrasing, but he would have liked to not have to hit unrestricted free agency. It might flip on a dime. And now Keon saying, no, I'm good, actually. I can hit unrestricted free agency. It's February. I've been cooking. My manager says I might be worth 20 a year. Forget that 16, 15, 14, whatever. My manager says I'm getting close to 20 after what I did because Keegan's been out. And at that point, the Kings might say, well, that's too rich for our blood. That's too much for us, Keon. So this injury could affect the Kings in so many ways, and I want to dive into all the different ways that it could affect the Sacramento Kings. Also, very random story. Brandon Ayuk drama that wasn't really drama, and you have somebody from the media not really walking it back, even though she did walk it back, because when you go to find the article, which she decides to say, oh, well, it's not deleted, it's adjusted. And this is somebody who's been on the show, by the way. She was on the show a couple years ago when we were at the Super Bowl. Very nice person. But she says, oh, well, it wasn't retracted. It wasn't deleted. It was adjusted. Well, sister, I went to find the article, and I cannot find the article because you completely changed the voice of the article. So sometimes you just got to take the L, all right? And Brad, who's been on this show plenty of times, Brad, SF Niners, one of the biggest Niners content creators this side of the Mississippi. Brad, who has I don't know about a close relationship with Brandon Ayuk, but he has had conversations with Brandon Ayuk before. Brad called something out. Basically, there was a report that Brandon Ayuk was doing the social media Gen Z mumbo jumbo again, deleting, unfollowing, and Brad said, this is not true. And NBC Sports Bay Area is a very well-known entity. We all kind of trust NBC Sports Bay Area because typically they don't do the bombs, right? They just kind of say not what the team wants them to say, but it's more informational. Well, this information was incorrect. It got retracted, and we have a very random story. And I'll be honest with you. I saw that, and I said, this is what I'm talking about with Brandon Ayuk. You got Kendrick Bourne looking like this, and we got to deal with more Brandon Ayuk drama. I said, hey, apparently the story was wrong. So we have that for you as well. Kyle is back. We have an ESPN Big Three tiers. So basically they have tiered all the quote-unquote big threes in the NBA. I'm going to tell y'all right now, it is not as good as for the Kings as the Law Murray rankings by position. The big three that they have picked for the Kings, it's not a great one, all right? And not that it's not a great one. Where they are ranked is probably where you would expect not a great spot. Not a great spot. So we have that coming up for you today. Major League Baseball, I don't know who all was watching the playoffs yesterday, but there was an opportunity for a Brewers. It was bases loaded, 2 outs, okay? Bases loaded, 2 outs. The count was, I believe at that time, the count was 1-2. So 2 strikes on them, and the Brewers hitter, okay, had an opportunity. It was a sweeper. That's what they called it. It was a sweeper pitch, all right? And Turang, that was the name of the batter. Bryce Turang, 4-hitter for the Brewers. They're down 2-1. They're at home, bottom of the 9th. This is what you dream about. Blake Trinan, who's still on the Dodgers, by the way. Blake Trinan throws a sweeper that 99.9% chance would have hit Bryce Turang's leg if he did not move, right? He moved, really jumped out the way. Right after he jumps out the way, the very next pitch, high cheese, Blake Trinan, Turang strikes out, Brewers lose, go down 1-0, they lose the first game at home. And everybody is freaking out. He should have got out of the way. He should have got out of the way. Or excuse me, he should have stayed and got hit by the pitch. Would have tied the game. Right? So easy. Now, I want to do this. I want to find the middle ground here because it's okay if you believe that he should have stayed, he should not have gotten out of the way. But let's not do the thing. I had people, because I said, look, guys, it's human instinct to move. I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been able to power through that, but the first instinct when you are facing guys throwing 95 plus, the first instinct is to move. Now, I know that pitch was only 85, but he's got 2 strikes on him, right? There, you have milliseconds to make a decision. Somebody said, I was going back and forth, there was another Giants podcast, right? And they said, I understand if it's the regular season, but this is postseason. Your brain is not thinking like that, right? Your brain does not have enough time as Blake Trinan is getting ready to possibly throw a 97-mile-per-hour fastball or an 85-mile-per-hour sweeper or any of his other 14 pitches that guys have these days. Your brain is not thinking, I'm going to stay here because it's the NLCS, but if this was the regular season, I would have gotten out the way. I found that to be ridiculous. I was going back and forth with people all day long. I understand he should have found a way to just stay in there because he did have enough time to at least know that it wasn't a fastball. I get that. I also know that it's human nature. I don't want to do the thing that athletes do because I never played pros, but I'm sorry, you at home responding to me saying I wouldn't have got out the way and taken a W. I hate to do this because I know people hate. People don't hate when people do it. People hate when certain people do it. If you have not seen 95 miles an hour plus, sit this one out.
Yeah, I love the concept of, well, I was going to let this ball go by, but this is the NLCS, so my 0.05% of a second is going to recognize that I need to get hit. It's almost like you have to go up to the plate expecting to get hit. Right?
It's insane.
You're going up trying to get hit. Like that is your intention coming up to bat, which at that point, it doesn't work as a hitter.
I got it right here, and it's from, a Giants podcast, Black and Orange Pod. Shout out, we follow each other. And I said, I know it's easy to say, let that ball hit you, but it's just human instincts to get out of the way. And then I said, should have let it hit him, though, with the little smiley face. Black and Orange Pod says, during a regular season game, sure. In the NLCS, when you could tie the game in the 9th inning, unacceptable. Let it hit you. It's the playoffs. Do everything possible to win. There's just not enough time. I understand he should not have moved. I'll also say this. The feet, the legs, much tougher than, I would say, knee up. Knee up, I think it's a lot easier to recognize what the pitch looks like. And we say that for hitting, right? It's easy to recognize a ball up. It's a lot harder to recognize a ball down. The same thing goes for whether you're swinging or not. If that ball was knee or higher, it's a lot easier to recognize that, and you can turn. If it was going to hit his back, it's a lot harder to drop to the ground. But it's about to hit your shin, whatever it is. It's just human nature. Trust me, I wish it hit him because I hate the Dodgers.
I mean, he turned to his bench and was like, I know, like literally seconds after it happened. Like he knew the muscle memory just messed it up for him.
Exactly. It was his intention, right? If he had been able to think in enough time, oh, wait, this is going to hit me. But that's not how it happens. I'm telling you, anything up top, completely different situation. Also, if it wasn't 2 strikes, your thought, if that's 3-1, right? 3-1, that would have been a ball anyway. But if that's 2-1,
it's 0-0.
0-0 count. 2 strikes, you have so much more going on in your mind, game on the line. So
last out of the game.
So everybody yesterday shouldn't have got out the way, I don't know. I thought it was crazy.
I very much enjoyed the fact that you got to see something that you just never get in baseball.
Goodness, yeah.
The funny thing is, I just said that, and I realized there's two things I could be talking about that you've literally never seen before. But, like, how often do we come out of these baseball games and we're debating the same umpire missed this call, guy should have choked up and tried to hit for contact, they should have bunted. Like, we've had that same argument 1,000 times. I don't know if we've ever had the argument coming out of one of these games, oh, a guy should have not flinched on a hit by pitch that would have tied the game. It's such a fascinating conversation because I'm seeing baseball minds that are both right try and hash this out.
Here's an interesting thing and an interesting way to look at it. Is that a blunder? We just talked last week about blunders, and you had the Kerkering, the pitcher from the Phillies, with the ultimate blunder, just airmailing a ball to home plate for absolutely no reason.
Could have thrown to first.
Yes, for absolutely no reason. And we did a all blunder list. You had now, it wouldn't have won the game. You would have just been tied, and obviously you had all those innings. I know Blake Snell has been a monster, but you had all those innings. You had 2 hits. Okay, so that's the other. We're just assuming that the Brewers win there, but either way, you would have tied the game. You give yourself a chance to get to extras. Again, would you count that as a blunder, or is it a mental blunder, or is it just that's baseball?
I just think it's a quirk, right? Because we don't think about the the muscle memory of hitters trying to get out of the way and how fast the reaction times have to be a Major League Baseball hitter. We don't think about that ever unless it's this exact situation. So I just think it's quirky. It's not Terang's fault. It's not the Brewers' fault that that's how they lost the game or that they were in that position in the first place. It's just a funny thing that happened to happen. Yeah,
and Sasaki did not look good, and I had my Phillies friend saying he looked like Mariano Rivera against us, and he did not have it last night. I was still kind of surprised that they pulled him, but maybe this is a sign of things to come. Okay, I would say this if you're the Brewers. You can look at this positively and negatively. Negatively, I would say that this was a bullpen game for you, and you had a chance. Is it considered stealing one if it's at home, but it's a bullpen game, right? So it was a home game, but it was a bullpen game for you. So you could have stole. That's what happens when you're facing the Dodgers, who are just ridiculous. Doesn't matter if you're home or away. So I'm going to say they could have stole a bullpen game, and they weren't able to do that. That's number one. But number two, I would say you almost won a bullpen game. And Blake Snell, you've gotten through Blake Snell. So if you believe in yourself on the road, you got to get this second one at home, and then you head out to LA, and now you got through your bullpen game, and now you can go to work a little bit. All you got to do is steal one in LA, and you're okay. You got to win the first one, right, in Milwaukee, but there are some negatives and positives. You can look at it optimistically or pessimistically, but yeah, that was the big talk of the town. He shouldn't have got out the way, and I just think it's much easier said than done.
So the interesting thing I look at it is, like, if they had stolen the game, gone to extras, say they win, it would feel like a win for the Brewers because you survived maybe Snell's best playoff performance ever.
Right.
Right? Like, Snell gives you that game, 8 innings, 1 hit.
That's so true.
You just assume you're going to lose, right? You tip your hat and say, you know what? Best performance of his career. We just got beat. If that had happened and they had come out with a win, then
you win the series. You win the series.
Not that you win the series.
No, you win the series.
Well,
no, you win the series.
I mean, 7 games, baseball.
You win the series.
These 7 games.
It's a mental game.
It's mental, except when Terang is in the playoffs, then it's extra mental, and you get out of the way.
Yeah, then you got to get out the way.
Yeah, I mean, so I guess I look at it that way. It's like you're down 0-1, but you're supposed to be down 0-1 when Snell gives you that insane, basically no-hitter for 8 innings in a NLCS, right?
I can't stand Snell ever since his time with the Giants, and I think I'm good. He didn't finish the season. Then he's posting about going to the Dodgers. I cannot stand him.
Well,
and I obviously from a player standpoint, I don't know the guy. He seems like a really chill guy, to be honest with you. Is he not? I don't know. He seems chill in interviews.
It's complicated.
Okay.
He's very, very much a capital B bro.
Okay. He's broing out. He's in LA now. But I cannot stand any of those guys on the baseball field.
He likes playing his video games and just being a bro.
So the Brewers go down. By the way, I mean, the Mariners, you got to have Ken Griffey Jr. in the building. All of them from that 0-1 squad, they should all be in the building. And honestly, sometimes teams do that and they kind of do too much. And then the team that's actually playing feels a lot of pressure. I think that's easier to feel that pressure in basketball because everyone's right on top of you. But I don't know. I'd bring back all the crew. Randy Johnson, he's taking pictures somewhere. Ken Griffey Jr., bring them all back.
Also taking pictures somewhere.
They're all taking pictures. They're all photographers.
Yeah.
The 0-1 Mariners, all photographers.
They're all just under the camera well.
Yeah.
They've actually been there the whole time.
A-Rod's going to be there. They're, covering the game, of course.
They don't really embrace A-Rod like that.
He's a Yankee. He's a Yankee. So
he's a Texas Ranger.
I mean, the ridiculousness of the Mariners, and it stinks that the Blue Jays not totally healthy, but they did get their pitching back. It might be too little too late because they got the bleep kicked out of them yesterday. Now you got to go back to Seattle. Seattle could wrap this thing up or at least get one and then wrap it up back in the 6 in Toronto. They are a well-oiled machine right now. 6. And the big dumper is kind of leading the crew. Julio Rodriguez actually is playing well when it matters. Who would have thought?
Oh, hold on.
Who would have thought?
No, I'm not going to let you do the Julio Rodriguez is playing well when it matters. That brother was 1 for 19 in the last series.
But he hit a home run.
Well, yeah.
Last night. So he's playing well now.
I'm saying, coming back around to, wow, Julio Rodriguez is killing it when he had, I think it was below 500 OPS.
No, I said he's hitting. I said he's hitting now.
No, but in the Tigers series, he literally did not hit.
He wasn't hitting it. I said now. This is a new series.
It's new life.
This is a new life. Every series is new.
All the dumping you did on Bryce Harper for having one bad series. Meanwhile, Julio Rodriguez, 1 for 20 in the Tigers series.
If you still have a chance to beat the Dodgers, then I will ride for you. Once you lose, you're dead to me.
Okay, I want to go back to your first point, though, about the bringing back the 95 Mariners and the 0-1 team and all that stuff. Now that you're up 2-0 and you think there's a pretty good chance that you're going to get your first World Series game in Seattle ever, do you burn we're bringing the old guys back now, or do you wait until the World Series to do the Ken Griffey and Edgar are going to throw out the first pitch?
But that's what I'm saying. I don't think you should do it. I don't think you should do it for the World Series because you make it a big spectacle. Backsides get tight. I wouldn't do it for the World Series. Keep that business. You know who does stuff like that? The Mets do stupid stuff like that. But the Mets got people playing. We don't need the spectacle. I would do because you're safe now, right? You're safe now. You're fairly safe. You're up 2-0. I wouldn't do it for the World Series. I wouldn't do it.
Here's where I think it's different, though. Let's say the Mariners win and the Dodgers win, right? And that's your World Series. That game 1 is going to be the first World Series game ever in Seattle. So it's going to be a celebration of 50 years of Mariners baseball at that one game because it's I get the Mets, it's funny, all that stuff. They've been bad. The Mariners literally have never been to the World Series. So I think you do kind of have to break out hey, here's Griffey, here's Edgar, here's some dude from the 80s Mariners that we don't think.
Buhner somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. Here's Felix Hernandez, here's Ichiro, right? You kind of should do it for the first game.
I know you should do it. I would just rather do it now.
That's tough. Oh, you know what? Maybe the healthy compromise is have Felix do it now and then do the other people later.
And by the way, they have home field now. I don't know them compared to the Dodgers, but I know they won't have home field against the Brewers. So you're down 2-0, and now you got Ichiro in the crew. No. I would do it now. It's very controlled. You're up 2-0. That's how I would do it. Because even if you lose that game, you're still up 2-1.
All right, so let's pull up the standings here. So the Mariners won 90, the Brewers won 97, the Dodgers won 93. So no matter what, it's going to be game 3.
Wow, I didn't even. That's what's so crazy about the Dodgers.
That's what's so crazy about the Nationals.
They had a terrible season, They had 93.
And they're going to host game 1 of the World Series if they.
That is crazy.
I
and
guess
nobody will be in the stands.
I guess Blue Jays #1 seed 94. So the 1 seed in the American League was 1 game better than the Dodgers.
Jeez. All right. On the other side, we have a conversation regarding the NFL and parity. But don't worry, we are getting you going. We have plenty to talk about as it pertains to the Keegan Murray injury and how the Kings can overcome it and what it means for the future of the Beam team. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com. Auto repair bills are through the roof. $3,000 to replace the transmission. $4,000 for a blown engine. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all out of pocket. You need an Endurance Auto Protection Plan. No matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, AC, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done at the certified mechanic of your choice, and they're paid directly with no middleman. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, lockout services, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. Act now and get our elite benefits, including complete tire care and key fob replacement, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again, so call now for your free quote. Call 800-378-7241, 800-378-7241. Again, that's 800-378-7241.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has the biggest selection, the best prices, and unbeatable customer service. Check them out online, sacsuperstore.com, for the guaranteed lowest price on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Open until 10 o'clock and right across from Hagen Oaks Golf Course. sacsuperstore.com.
A men's health moment with Revive Men's Health.
Low testosterone doesn't just drain your energy, it can change how you feel about yourself. Revive Men's Health uses advanced lab testing and proven treatments to help guys feel stronger and more confident.
Learn more at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Footballs are flying, the days are getting shorter, fall is officially here. Will your heater be able to get you through the winter? The heater at Whiteywood shut down last winter, so who did we call? Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. We wanted somebody we could trust to do the job right and deliver great value, and Lee's came through. Check them out at leesair.com. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating has built a reputation as the leading HVAC company in Sacramento. We've got a new HVAC system that works great, saves us money month to month. Find out how they can help you at leesair.com. License number 635355.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
It's the energy all around you. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be. The statewide special election is November 4th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
By the way, we are still giving away tickets to November 7th, Kings Thunder. Okay, also a stay at the Kimpton Sawyer. You get a night stay there, $200 to Revival. That's coming up at 12 o'clock. We will give you the secret keyword for today. I can see all the keywords from the morning show. Good luck to you. And hopefully Hopefully, you will be in the runnings to win that special night. A couple texts that are coming through regarding the games. 916 says, not a blunder. Like you said, getting hit in the knee or below is not something you can just take the hit the same way it's in the back or something like that. And that's how I feel, man. Back, thigh, butt, you see it coming. The foot, it's tough. It's just tough. I'm not saying he shouldn't have did. And obviously he looked back and said, my bad. But, clearly it's just, dang it. You know what I mean? You're flinching. It's a flinch. If somebody tries to punch you, most of the time, and even if they fake punching you, you flinch. That's just how it is. 916, clearly a Dodgers fan in the 916, so you're already kind of sketchy to me. Hate on Snell from a Giants fan is silly. Y'all gave his money to Chapman and Adames. Then they continue to say, Snell is already better than Bumgarner. Okay. What is that movie, This Is Where I Leave You? This is where I stop paying attention to you, 916.
I mean, I agree that Bumgarner is better, but I feel like I need to look up their stats.
I mean, let's see how this ends. And look, maybe
Snell's a 2-time Cy Young.
Maybe no, but I'm not talking about regular season. The problem is, we all know Madison Bumgarner wasn't the ultimate gamer. He was completely different in the postseason than in the regular season. Clayton Kershaw is better than Madison Bumgarner in the regular season. So I guess you'd have to clarify your statements, right? Snell in total or Snell in the postseason? Because Bumgarner is a legend.
I'm just saying we might have to look it up. I mean, Snell pitched a shutout in the World Series where they yanked him in the 6th inning.
I mean, Bumgarner did something similar and then came in and closed the game. And I know I'm probably romanticizing that. Can we wait to see if the Dodgers win this? Can we wait?
All right, so
this is not even the World Series yet. What are we talking about?
Well, Bumgarner also had good starts outside the World Series.
What are we talking about?
You're just holding up 2 games where Bumgarner pitched great and blah, blah, blah. By the way, so playoff stats, Blake Snell, 15 career playoff games, 2.58 ERA, 89 strikeouts, record of 7-3. Bumgarner, 16 starts, 8-3, 2.11 ERA. So
it's close.
Bumgarner, by the way, Snell 1 save, Bumgarner 1 save in the playoffs. Just saying.
Yeah, I guess I'm getting clouded by the Dodgers stuff specifically, but everything that Snell did prior to the Dodgers, he's been a dog.
Yeah, so 102 innings for Bumgarner, allowed 24 runs, struck out 87. Snell only 69 innings. But has 89 strikeouts, which is
not his fault. He got pulled.
But he's got more than Bumgarner. He's got more playoff strikeouts than Bumgarner with 30 less innings.
Yeah, you got to pitch the contact.
Snell. I'm just saying, Blake Snell is one of the best postseason pitchers ever.
Let's see how this goes. Let's see how this. I will have the conversation after this postseason. He's off to a great start. I will have the conversation after this postseason.
He just needs a ring.
And I don't think baseball, nobody really does the ring thing, but I'm going to do it here because I'm a hater. So I'm going to do it right now.
This postseason, Snell has pitched 21 innings and has a .86 ERA.
That's pretty good.
That is pretty good. Very good.
We'll see how it goes.
Bumgarner during that famous World Series run, let me just pull it up here, 52 innings, 1.03 ERA.
I mean, come on. Come on, man. And a parade.
I mean, Snell's on pace to get there.
Yeah, where's your parade at? Let's see if there's a parade. Keep it coming. Hot text line today, like this coffee. 916-329-1140 if you want to be a part of the conversation. Text line, call line, and the Sac Chat. And the conversation I thought about yesterday as the Atlanta Falcons. This was finally the Atlanta Falcons team that I think a lot of us had been thinking we were going to see when they drafted Penix, all of the different weapons that they have, and they did it against a Bills team. I'm trying to tell y'all, man. First of all, Keon Coleman, 2nd rounder, dude is a bust. Can we say that at least right now? I know it might take a little bit longer for certain wide receivers, and he's not a 1st rounder. Did Schmal and Miles have some cash on him? Yes, but the dude is a certified bust.
But he had that great press conference when he got drafted.
Oh my goodness. And he had a really good game to start the season, and I thought, okay, Keon Coleman going to figure it out. They don't have Khalil Shakir cannot be your number 1.
Yeah, that's crazy that they're going on 2 years of Khalil Shakir being their number one.
But again, this is the weird thing that they're trying to do where it's almost, and help me out here, Kyle, it almost is like we have our own Patrick Mahomes and we can do the number one wide receiver thing too, but you can't. And honestly, you have Travis Kelce, who at the time, maybe not now, but Travis Kelce, when they went in 2023, probably a better receiver than anybody the Bills have on their roster, even as a tight end. Then you have Rashee Rice, who's coming back, who's clearly better than anything the Bills have. So you might not have the brand name, but the Chiefs tried to do we don't need a number one wide receiver thing. Then Rashee Rice ended up emerging as a number one. I just think the Bills should maybe trade for, I know he's a bit injured, go get Garrett Wilson. He's just wasting his time on the Jets. It's okay. Everyone is not Patrick Mahomes. Josh Allen's not Patrick Mahomes. And Keon Coleman is a bum.
So here's where I would push back a little bit. First of all, the Rashee Rice thing, he hasn't played in 19 games, which is kind of crazy to think about. So even their number one has been gone for over a year. But people do forget that when the Chiefs traded away Tyreek Hill, Patrick Mahomes did win MVP the year after that. Mm-hmm. Similarly, when Buffalo traded away Stephon Diggs, Josh Allen won MVP. Mm-hmm. The thing they didn't learn from is the next 3 years after, Kansas City tried to run it back with no receiver, and it was not great.
Yeah.
Buffalo did not learn. They were like, oh, Josh Allen won MVP with no number one receiver. Let's just run it back.
And the whole MVP thing, it's not parallel to championships, right? But Baker Mayfield, who is still not the betting favorite, your boy Patrick Mahomes is, which is crazy.
As he should be.
But Baker Mayfield, if he wins it, hey, he lost all of his wide receivers. Cool. That's a great story, and maybe he should win MVP. But going into the playoffs, you don't want to be throwing to one of the Johnsons or Sterling Shepard the same way. Great story. Josh Allen did it without a number one. You know what guys need? And he didn't have Dalton Kincaid last night, who is essentially their number one receiver. Dawson Knox, he did absolutely nothing. It was a terrible game for the Bills, but you get to the playoffs, and everybody needs a dude. You need a dude. The only person that hasn't was in 2023 and did Rashee Rice play that game?
I believe so.
I think he did. I think he did too.
You're talking about the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
I believe so.
So they had their number one, who he emerged as a number one. So even the Chiefs had their number one. This idea, just because you win a Super Bowl, that's the same thing I feel like with Lamar. Right? Hollywood Brown, let us not forget, Hollywood Brown, he said something about Lamar back in the day where he said, I kind of want to go to a quarterback who's going to get me the football, and Hollywood Brown is looking pretty good with the Chiefs. The Ravens, your best receiver is my height, and Zay Flowers. That's not going to fly, and I don't know why the Ravens, I know they're a run-first offense, but these teams keep trying to do this thing without, sometimes you just need a pure X receiver. That's what you need in the playoffs. You need a go-to guy. Drake London last night, oh my goodness. I'm thinking to the Bills, just don't guard him because Darnell Mooney is out. So all you got to do is guard him and have Penix throw to Washington and Kyle Pitts and whoever else. And I was texting my buddy, he said, the Bills don't have anybody to guard him. I'm like, go see if Washington can catch a pass. But the Bills don't have anybody like Drake London.
So I kind of had to refresh myself on the Buffalo Bills point with the receivers. So the first year after Tyreek Hill left, when Kansas City won the Super Bowl against the Eagles, these were the leading target guys during that Super Bowl. Juju Smith-Schuster,
crazy.
9. Travis Kelce, 6. Justin Watson, 2. Jerick McKinnon, 3. And then a bunch of dudes who just had 1. And Kadarius Toney returning a punt. But then by the next year, which is the year they beat the Niners in the Super Bowl, these were the target leaders in the Super Bowl. Kelce, Rashee Rice, Justin Watson again, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, Noah Gray, Mecole Hardman. So, like, as quiet as it was, they did kind of rebuild that wide receiver room the second year. It wasn't great, but it was different. Buffalo, I feel like they've made a mistake of it's the same dudes as last year who are not getting it done.
And we're not even bringing up this guy who like I said, he's still kind of a one-trick pony, but he'll show up. He had a touchdown, on Sunday night? Xavier Worthy. So they got their their main guy in Rashee Rice. They got their deep threat in Xavier Worthy. They got their tight end. They have other dudes.
They also have Hollywood Brown.
And they have Hollywood Brown, who would probably, he's at worst a 1B, right? He probably shouldn't be he's not their one.
Better than Keon Coleman.
He's definitely better than Keon Coleman. I'll tell you that right now.
Tyquan Thornton was catching a bunch of passes for a week.
So I don't know. The Bills, man, they're kind of wasting their time. And I know people said, well, Josh Allen didn't look good either. I just want to see. I'm not somebody that I don't have time to grind random teams' film, but I just want to watch what Keon Coleman is doing on these routes because it's just incredible to me. Shakir looks about my size too. He is. Somebody said he reminds him on the broadcast. They said he reminds me of Cooper Kupp. I'm like, excuse me? In what
Cooper Kupp
way?
On the Seahawks?
In what way? And he's a good receiver, but I don't understand how the Bills have tried to convince themselves. And maybe, look, last season was cute. You want to get Josh Allen take it, MVP, fine. This season, you should have said, all right, now let's go get a guy. And to bring this whole thing around as we're finishing up the segment, going to get to the other side, the Chiefs, the parity, there might be parity in the NFC, but in the AFC, it's the Chiefs. It's the Chiefs to lose again. I'm sorry. I don't know who the hell else do you feel comfortable going to challenge the Chiefs at going into Week 7? I don't have anyone.
Danny Dimes and the Colts, baby. Number 1 offense in the NFL.
Let's get to the other side. And when we do, we will start the conversation why baseball hates baseball as we get ready for Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA front office show. What can the Kings do? That's coming up at 11, but in about 3 minutes, let's discuss why baseball hates baseball and get started on some Kings talk. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So, then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Mike Rowe here with another fun fact. If your concrete is cracked or uneven, you can actually lift it back up. Whether it's a sinking driveway, a patio, or a sidewalk, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to lift your concrete slabs.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics. Schedule a free inspection. Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code POWER to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code POWER for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane DeWalt deals on October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits will be at insanely low prices. Spend $1,000 on DeWalt products and get $75 off your order instantly. Spend $100 and get a lotto scratcher with prizes up to $1,000 off your next order. That's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
So, as I told everyone, and Keith Smith's going to join us in 15 minutes, I'm telling you right now, you do not want to miss this conversation we're about to have with Keith. It's going to give a very clear, a much clearer picture of what's going to happen with the Kings, what could happen with the Kings, I should say. The injury conversations, everything, contracts. I met Keith at Summer League. Very, very nice person, and we've kind of connected there and have kind of kept it going, and very excited for everyone to hear what he has to say. So I don't know if it's going to be optimistic or pessimistic, but Keith is just, he's a numbers guy, right? He is a walking TI-89 calculator. So he's a numbers guy. He knows the cap. He understands the cap. And we're really excited to have him on the show. That's coming up in 15 minutes. And then an hour from the 11 o'clock hour, that is when we're giving you a chance to stay the night at Kimpton Sawyer in that California King, possibly Alaskan King. What were the other Kings that we had?
There was also a Texas King.
A Texas King?
Yeah, which is smaller than the Alaskan King.
Oh, my goodness.
But bigger than the California King.
Okay, so.
I mean, they say everything's bigger in Texas,
right.
But Texas is not an Alaskan King.
That's right.
Alaskan King was the bed that was from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Thank you very much, Kyle. As we have the conversation, as I mentioned to everyone, and we ended up getting 2 million views, a video that I did trolling the Dodgers about having empty seats, okay, to end the series against the Phillies in the NLDS, right? And I'm not walking that back. That's not what I do. But I will say that Major League Baseball, and this is why people get upset with Major League Baseball, they got to stop getting in their own way. And Rob Manfred continues to get in his own way with these start times. So you got a couple games here that are starting at 3:08 for the Blue Jays, 3:08 for the Dodgers. And if I ever met Rob Manfred, I would just ask him, how did you get this job hating baseball so much? That's what I would ask him. Because this kind of ruins it for everybody. It doesn't give you, a lot of people are still working. A lot of people are running around. And I get it with the NFL, but you're not even battling the NFL in some of these situations, right? So Brewers, Dodgers on Thursday, that's at 3:08. Maybe that's to avoid the NFL a little bit. But that's what's crazy because it's in LA, which is nuts. So I don't understand why they continue to do this. I mean, again, it's going to be all the way to the World Series until they stop doing this. I'm looking here as well. Friday, Blue Jays Mariners, 3:00. Why is it at 3? There's no football.
Well, I think baseball has decided they don't want games overlapping. But the problem is they have...
Why not?
I don't know. That's just the decision they've concluded. So they want... I'm sure it's for TV purposes, right? Fox wants to have the exclusive window, and TBS wants to have the exclusive window so that they're not competing against each other for interest. I assume that's the case. I don't know if it's true. But these series ended up messing them up because Milwaukee and Toronto, which are in the same time zones, hosted games 1 and 2. Seattle and Los Angeles are playing on the same day on the West Coast, so they don't have a perfect East Coast, West Coast time slot, essentially. So they have to space them out because you can't start the game in Toronto at 7:00 p.m. West Coast time, 9:00 local.
Yeah.
So that's why they're starting games at 3:00, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I hear you on that. It's just weird. I mean, me personally, I get home around 3, right? 2:45, 3. Oh, the game's on. You know how many times I've missed the beginning because I don't realize that the game is playing yet?
Yeah, which is why it's kind of crazy. Like, I love the early start times. I think sports should do it more, but the 3:00 is just an adjustment, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why baseball puts those wild card games in the middle of the day. Like, every Guardians playoff game for the last 4 years has been at 10 a.m. on a Wednesday. I don't understand why they do that. I don't understand why the game start times are spaced out so that the games never overlap. I feel like it's fine if the end of one game overlaps with the start of another because people like you aren't even watching the start of the first game because they forget that it's on.
Yeah. And I'm not going to, I'm standing on business on me making fun of Dodger fans because that's just what I do. But at the same time, it's one thing for the NLDS when you have obviously twice the amount of games going on. Now with there only being 2, yesterday I thought it was great. I had my, on YouTube TV, I got my try box going. I got the 2 NFL games, which were brutal. And I got the baseball game going as well. If I have 2 baseball games going on, what's worse? People still at work or people splitting the viewership? I would argue it's people still at work.
I think the people still at work thing, though, is just a West Coast thing because in the markets where they're playing, right? Like when it was the Phillies, the video that you made fun of Dodger fans for, right? When it was the Phillies, that game starts at 6:00 local time in Philadelphia. That's perfect.
Yeah.
But it's messed up for the West Coast people versus like right now, I think there's only one game today. So like tomorrow's the next example of it. It's like the Dodgers have to start at 3:00 because Toronto and Seattle are quote unquote bigger markets. So their game is going to be the late one at 6:00.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why they came to the conclusion that they did. They're putting the Dodgers at 3:00 local time, which I'm sure.
I don't think that's because of markets. I think it honestly is because I think it's the opposite. I think they feel like the Mariners, they don't want it to be obvious that the Dodgers are the bigger market. And
I will say Toronto's a pretty big market.
No, I hear you. And obviously it's a country, right? Everybody's rooting for the Blue Jays in Canada. So I get that. But I think it also turns into, hey, we don't want it to look bad if the Dodgers get every 5:00 game. You know what I mean? Every primetime game. And we're just throwing the Blue Jays, Mariners around wherever we can.
But that's what's so crazy about it. There is no 5:00. It's 3 and 6. Like they're not even doing the primetime window, which I guess you have to do because they try and squeeze too many games into too small of a time for the baseball playoffs. Mm-hmm. But this is what we're experiencing right now is literally why Rob Manfred said we should do an Eastern Conference and a Western Conference in baseball. Because if you did that, you would have Milwaukee playing Toronto at 4:00 and Seattle playing the Dodgers at 6:30, and baseball wouldn't have to worry about these weird start times. But
yeah, well, if the Dodgers, they'd still be messed up because all their bandwagon fans all over the U.S., they're screwed either way.
I guess, or they're going to watch either way, so it doesn't matter where you put the Dodgers.
That's also true. So that's what I would ask Rob Manfred. I still think, I'll be honest though, and I know I'm a baseball guy, so people can chime in and correct me if I'm wrong. It does feel like, I don't know if it's because people love the nickname of Big Dumper, but look, the Yankees are done. The Yankees lose. The Yankees are done, And normally you lost to Yankees and you lost to Phillies. Those are two big cities, but sometimes storylines are more important. And I do think people just love the idea of that nickname, Big Dumper. And it feels, when I go on social media, which isn't reality, but when I go on social media, it does feel, this is the golden era, the golden time frame for Major League Baseball, even more so than the World Series. I would say the World Series, sure, but basketball has started at that point. Right now, with basketball not starting yet, it feels like there are a ton of people. I've seen media members talking about baseball who do not cover baseball, and they said, what am I doing watching baseball? I never watched baseball. It does feel like there's a certain amount of juice. And Seattle, as much as people get on Sacramento, there's certain cities that people want to ride behind, and certain that haven't won in a while. Sacramento is not one of those cities. I don't know why, but especially when it comes to the Kings, people love to make fun of Sacramento, at least just, I would say, in general. Seattle is the opposite of that. They are the small market team that everybody is always rooting for. They're more of the Detroit Lions than the Kings because people root for the Lions. People want the Mariners to win. They got Big Dumper, Julio Rodriguez. I mean, look at the guy. It's just a ridiculous situation going on in Seattle right now. You got Randy Arozarena, and people love him. So I do think that this storyline of the Mariners, and people hate watching the Dodgers like myself, or they're just fans of the Dodgers. The Brewers are kind of, they're kind of the anchor here. If you could have got Phillies, Dodgers now, that would have been crazy. But you did get it at some point. And if you could have got, obviously, Yankees, Big Dumper, I think that would have been crazy too. But this storyline, it does feel like it's a unique enough situation, and Big Dumper hit that home run in the first game. I think the playoffs have a bit more juice than it typically does.
So you know what's funny? You were talking about parity in football earlier. It's almost like this is the return of parity in baseball. Mm-hmm. And I know I say baseball always has parity. It
always has parity.
But the Astros were always penciled in the ALCS for every year. And now that you've removed the Astros, you removed the Astros last year, but the Yankees won. So it was whatever. The Yankees finally got it done. They won at LCS. Now that you removed the Astros and the Yankees aren't the powerhouse, now it just feels like open season. We're seeing combinations of teams we would never see.
That's very true.
Because they would lose to the Astros or the Yankees.
Yeah, go away, Astros. Nobody misses you. Keith Smith joins us on the other side. You do not want to miss this conversation. Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA Front Office Show. All of the questions we have had. When I have questions about the things we talk about on air, I go to Keith. Now you get to hear him live in about 3-4 minutes. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers lose in Tampa Bay on Sunday 30-19, but far worse for San Francisco. They lose their all-pro linebacker Fred Warner for the season with a devastating broken and dislocated right ankle. San Francisco comes home to take on Atlanta for Sunday Night Football. You can catch all the action beginning at 4 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergy AmericanAir.com, serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
on Sactown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. We are an hour away from our Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. Also going to have tickets. That also comes with tickets, lower level, to the Kings Thunder game, and $200 to Revival, one of the most chic social spots in Sacramento. But right now, we are joined by the one, the only Keith Smith. Keith, I know you are a busy man. Spa Track, the NBA front office show. I just saw, Keith, that the NBA front office show got picked up. Was it by NBA TV? Congrats to you and your partner, and thanks so much for joining us.
I appreciate that. Yeah, we're really excited about partnering with the league to help get our content out there to more people, and I appreciate you having me today.
Let's get right on into it, Keith. I was telling everyone before the break that when I have questions about something that I might blurt out on the air, I'll text you to confirm. So I wanted to get your thoughts on the Keegan Murray injury and how that could alter the extension talks, and what you thought was going to happen prior to the injury. Maybe it doesn't change anything at all. I know you spoke with somebody within the front office after Summer League, that article that you put out, and we've gone over it time and time again. How do you see things going with Keegan as far as the extension goes now that he is injured? Could the Kings still offer him that extension, or are they going to see what he does in a contract year and let him hit restricted free agency?
Yeah, the injury itself is just a bummer, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he's just such a fun young player who looked so promising. His first couple years had a little bit of a slump last year. I think it was tough on him to be in a role where he was regularly the fourth or fifth option on the floor on a team with a lot of other guys who need the ball in their hands to do stuff. So as far as things go extension-wise, the injury, there's no rules impact on that. The Kings can still do whatever they want to do as far as an extension goes. I would certainly hope that this injury, which, it does stink, it's going to cost him a month or so of the season, but this is not a, career-altering kind of injury or anything like that. So hopefully that has little to no impact on where they're at extension-wise. And then that really comes down to, what can the two sides agree on? I think for Keegan Murray's side, it's not super helpful that Jabari Smith Jr., who was picked a couple picks ahead, we got took a kind of more team-friendly-ish deal in his deal with the Rockets, because now the Kings can go back and say, hey, that kind of set the market for guys who are good players, but they're a little bit lower on the pecking order and those kind of things. But I think something that comes in around $25 million or so a year feels really, really fair to me for both sides, and I would hope they get something done, because what you don't want to have happen to your friends down the road there in Golden State, where all of a sudden a guy hits restricted free agency and that becomes a whole thing. And next year, there's going to be teams with cap space that might be actually willing to go out there and chase some restricted free agents. So that could make things tough on the Kings.
Talking to Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA front office show, from one possible restricted free agent to one possible unrestricted free agent. Keith, a lot of fans were in an uproar when the Kings picked up Keon Ellis's option. I've talked to a couple people about this, and the initial thought was that it's a fairly safe bet, risking unrestricted free agency, and a lot of people think that they can come to an agreement. I believe that's in February. You can correct me if I'm wrong, Keith, on that with Keon Ellis. But do you think the Kings made this decision thinking, look, we just don't see a team completely pricing us out of Keon, and do you think that was a smart decision?
Yeah, I think there's two ways to look at this. One is I think they feel like, hey, we're in a spot where not over the luxury tax, but dancing kind of close to it. And if they had said, all right, we're going to decline the option, we'll sign him to his new contract now, that might have been the difference between being a tax team and not with Keon Ellis. So I think they wanted to avoid that if they could. So why not keep him on the really low number for this year? Because I think they are probably feeling like, yeah, no one's going to be jumping in there to try to give a big offer to Keon Ellis. But here's the thing. When he's unrestricted, it doesn't need to be a big offer. And sometimes we see guys, sometimes, let's say the Kings are offering X. Another team may say, hey, we can only offer Y, but what we can also offer is 25, 30 minutes a night, X amount of shots, and those kind of things. And that's where it can become really tricky. It's not always just about being able to offer the most money. Sometimes it's that role for guys that becomes a big thing. So all that said, they have, you said it's in February when they can officially offer him an extension because it's a 2-year anniversary of when he signed his current deal. And that's, I think where this could go. I think there's a chance at that point the Kings and Keon Ellis look around and say, all right, hey, let's try to get something done. And for the Kings, you've got a few months to kind of see, all right, what does it look like with this group we have together with Keon in the mix?
Talking to Keith Smith of Spotrac and the NBA Front Office Show. Keith, this person is very polarizing. Maybe not as much lately because the Kings haven't been in the forefront like they were a couple years ago, but Domantas Sabonis. Early on, Domantas Sabonis, I guess around this time last season, there were conversation. Well, that was about De'Aaron Fox, but once De'Aaron Fox was traded, Sam Amick, The Athletic, came out, and you have Domantas Sabonis who may be assessing things. We heard nothing over the summer. We know that he likes Doug Christie. We know that he feels, or it seems like he's pretty happy right now. If this thing goes south, and if you've seen the first 20 games for the Kings, with 3 games against the Thunder, 3 games against the Nuggets, it very may well go south like that. Give us your take on Domantas Sabonis's value if he were to want to ask out, or just if the Kings decided, hey, let's just hit the eject button and move on.
Yeah, I think it's got to take the right kind of team for Sabonis. It's got to be a team that can either play him at the 4 and get away with it, or a team that has some form of really good perimeter defense, or maybe a shot blocking 4 that can play him at the 5. Because I think we have enough evidence now, and I say this as someone who really likes Domantas Sabonis, that he's just never going to be an anchor big on a really great defensive team. It's just not who he is. It's not what he does. I do think we spend far too much time fretting over, he's not a great rim protector, he's not this and that. If we miss that, like, this guy might be, one of the top 2-3 most versatile centers in the league. There's Nikola Jokic and then kind of that next group of guys. And Sabonis is right there. He's a guy who can, he might be one of, if not the best rebounders in the NBA. He's a pretty solid scorer. He started to take more jump shots again over the last year plus. And then he's a really good passer. So if you can fit him in but here's the challenge. When a guy makes $40+ million a year, teams aren't necessarily looking to fit them in. They're looking to say, all right, we can just, you're our guy. Everything's going to orbit around you. So really take the right kind of team. I think they'd find a trade for sure, because there are always enough teams that need offensive bigs. But it's got to be the right team that's going to give the Kings kind of a pretty penny in a trade for him.
And that's part of the conversation too, Keith, as you alluded to with finding Domantas Sabonis. Who do you think has the most value on the Kings now? I would say the short list is probably Sabonis, Keegan, and Keon. I think those are the top 3, but who do you think has the most trade value right now on the Kings?
Yeah, I don't want to get too sideways with a guy like Malik Monk. I think there was a lot of, well, the Warriors didn't want him, so, is he even good? And I think the answer is yes, he's very good. And, and I think if you're the kind of team who's both team and salary structure can support him coming in and being your sixth man, there's nothing wrong with that. I think people have turn this, well, he's the sixth man thing into being a bad thing. And last I checked, Jamal Crawford and Lou Williams had 20-year careers being really good, valuable sixth men. And that's where I think you could, see Malik Monk headed, where on a really good team, he's somebody, could come in and swing games for you off the bench. So I think he's got pretty good value. Contract is, perfectly fine for him. I think there's a world where Zach LaVine, especially if a team was convinced that, all right, he's going to opt out next year, and then we can get something done maybe at a lower number with more years added on. I think there's a world where he has some value as well. But that kind of, we're kind of dancing around the issue there of there's not a ton of guys that people are going to be jumping at. Like if Keegan Murray was available, the other 29 teams would all make a call.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be like, yeah, let's get on that. So I think he's got the most value simply because of where he's at career and contract-wise. But, yeah, it's a roster that's it's a little messy as far as value goes for all their tradable guys.
Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA Front Office Show. Keith, can you give us a little bit of clarity? I don't know if that's the best term. When it comes to DeMar DeRozan, Scott Perry, they're saying, I guess they're not straight up saying that they decided not to move him, but another guy where, Keith, I was in his last post-game presser, and I told him this during our media day. I did not see it happening the way it happened. They're saying that they want all the vets that they can, which is why they're interested in Westbrook. Not sure how much of it is that versus what the market was or wasn't for DeMar DeRozan. Now, next season, he does have a contract that is not guaranteed. You have to have him after that January date. How do you think this goes for DeMar DeRozan with this non-guaranteed contract next season? Will he be more desirable to teams throughout the course of the season? How do you think this thing goes for DeMar DeRozan, future Hall of Famer, who's been around the block for a while here?
Yeah, it certainly could be a guy who could all of a sudden be like, hey, he's in trade talks because we kind of know what DeMar DeRozan is, right? Pretty good playmaker for a wing, pretty good scorer still. Not exactly what teams want in scorers right now because it's still a lot of that mid-range game. But if you're a team that is trying to make a playoff push and you're trying to make a real run, his contract is pretty acquirable because it's not $40, $50 million. Once you get under 30, most teams in the league can put something together to make something like that happen. And I think what we could very easily see is if the Kings are in a position where, all right, our season's not going the way we want, we're going to start moving some guys, and we get around that trade deadline, you could have a team that says, man, we really need we need some scoring punch. And I think at this point, DeMar DeRozan is at the point in his career, too, where it might even be, hey, you willing to, we've got a chance to make a finals run. You want to come off the bench for us. We're still going to get you 25-plus minutes a night, but come off the bench, be a scorer, do your thing that way. And that could be where that flips. And that also has the value of, I call contracts like his pseudo-expiring contracts because they're not really, but there's just not a lot left on that deal that's guaranteed beyond this year. So that's a position where that may have value to an acquiring team as well.
Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA Front Office Show. Keith, just a couple more for you. We ask everyone this. What would you do if you woke up today and you were Scott Perry? How would you go about this season?
Yeah, I think at this point, you've got to kind of see what you have. It's not that you're locked in fully, but it's rare that teams are making major trades in October, November, even the beginning part of December. It's usually once we get into late December and then the calendar flips and we're getting towards the trade deadline. So I would see, all right, let's see what we have. I would certainly, without Keegan Murray, I'd be working with the coaching staff and saying, all right, are we going to go super small? Like, let's just go small. Let's lean heavily into the offense. I struggle to see how they put together anything resembling a competitive defensive group out of the roster pieces that are there. So I would lean very heavily into the offense, try and outscore a bunch of outscore teams by turning games into shootouts, play very fast, get the ball up and down the floor because it is a pretty good rebounding group. And then when Keegan Murray gets back, you kind of evaluate and go forward from there. I would be trying to get an extension done with Keegan Murray as best I can. And then if we hit, January and it's all right, things didn't really go the way we want, at that point I'd be like, hey, if you're not a really young guy on this team on a really good value contract, we're open. We're going to start talking, trades and see where this goes. And that includes, Sabonis, Levine, Monk, Schroeder, like the whole crew of them.
Last one for you, Keith Smith of Spa Track. What's your best bet on how this season goes? Do you think that's how that ends? I know they're projected to win 34 and a half games, which would have them outside of even the play-in. So you got to figure they would not be on a good track before the trade deadline. Do you think this thing does get blown up? How many of these guys do you think make it to the end of the season? What's your best bet on how this season goes for the Kings?
Yeah, I think there's a world where the Kings are competitive in the West. The problem is being competitive in the West means you're probably either out in the play-in tournament or you don't even make it. I mean, as we sit here today, a week from the season starting, Utah is really the only team in the West that I think you can confidently point to and say, yeah, they're not really trying to win as many games as possible. New Orleans is going to be trying to win. We know that Portland is ramping up to try to win. San Antonio trying to take steps forward. And those were some of the teams that were down and out of the playoff picture last year. And that's the challenge, I think, for the Kings is they're not in those top couple of tiers of teams, but they could be right in that next group. But the problem in the West is that next group is like 8 teams.
Right.
It's not like if they were in the East, I'd say, yeah, it could be a playoff team. Why not? It's they could certainly work their way in there, and that's the issue. And I think no matter what they do, you need to be willing to pivot very quickly if you're Sacramento into saying, all right, it's not our year. Let's go now on moving guys. Because if you wait too long, sometimes the market's already been set or sometimes the market's already moved. And then you're just kind of standing around on trade deadline day with, man, we'd like to move players X, Y, and Z, but the homes we could have sent them to already got established. So if you're not good, you got to be willing to start thinking about it right around the beginning of January instead of waiting until we get into trade deadline week.
My first thought is that Scott Perry will be on top of it, Keith, but we'll have to wait and see. Or maybe we won't wait and see because the Kings will be in the playoffs. You just never know. But what we do know is that you always come correct, Keith. We appreciate you taking the time. Keith Smith of Spa Track, the NBA front office show, which is now partnered with the NBA itself. So congrats again to you, Keith. We can't wait to have you on the show again. Take care, and we will talk to you soon.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much for having me.
That was Keith Smith of Spa Track. Be sure to check out the NBA front office show. That gives you a great update. He's got articles coming out too. It's kind of awesome to watch Keith just continue to blossom in this space and all the great things that he's doing. We covered everything. Literally, we covered everything. There's sometimes I get caught up in these interviews and I'll have a bullet that I didn't get to. Keith got the stuff that I didn't even have to ask him about, getting to the Zach LaVine stuff and what he had to say about Malik Monk. Look, man, I told y'all it's not always doomsday. I thought that was as optimistic as you're going to find from somebody who knows all about the numbers, who's talking to a lot of people around the league. I thought that was it was closer to optimistic than pessimistic, and Keith was just being realistic. The Zach LaVine thing, that's right. The Zach LaVine thing is something that we had discussed Zach LaVine opting out to having a lower AAV on this team. I did not think about that on a different team, which I thought was fascinating when Keith said that. Whoever that list is, I mean, I think that's a thing. I know they just paid Bane, but that would have been a Orlando Magic maybe conversation because they need shooting, something like that. They wouldn't do it now that they have Bane. But I could see that being Atlanta Hawks conversation. They're going to need shooting.
How about we just flip it on the other side? The Grizzlies need shooting.
The Grizzlies,
now that they got rid of Bane.
Right. The Grizzlies need shooting. So I think that was probably the biggest, the best nugget that I immediately wrote down when Keith said that. Keegan having the most value. I think we all would have guessed that. He said that if he were the Kings, he would look to get something done still with Keegan, even though there is an injury, because he did say, I mean, that I'll say this. Keith made it sound like the Kings should not mess around with restricted free agency. He said that if Keegan was on the market, and if you're just now joining us, that'll be up. It'll be up in not too long. You can check it out, Sactown Sports app, and also on the YouTube. If Keegan was on the market, 29 teams are calling for Keegan right now. That's what Keith said. So for all you out there that think Keegan isn't this good, now I don't know what the price would be in return, because if it was 3 first-rounders, sure, I'd do it too. But for everybody out there that wants to move off of Keegan, just know that the team that you are wishing the Kings would be like would call for Keegan Murray if he was available today. Just know that. Just know that.
And it's going to be different from restricted free agency this year, which Keith made the good point, which is like, just because Kuminga was forced into taking a deal to go back to the Warriors does not mean that's going to be the case next summer, because about 9 teams have cap space. The Wizards have $100 million in cap space. And what's important to note is because of the salary floor in the NBA, you got to get up to 90%. So if the Wizards
they got to pay somebody.
Yeah, the Wizards are like, hey, remember when Van Vliet went to the Rockets and got priced out? Mm-hmm. The Wizards are like, hey, Keegan, you want $140 million? We're not giving it to anyone else.
Yeah.
Here you go.
The other part of that I hadn't thought about that Keith said, Keith essentially said that we've been saying copy-paste, not just you, Kyle, but Brandon Nunez. Everybody's been saying just copy-paste the Jabari Smith Jr. Contract. And I've always said, well, I know their numbers are similar, but numbers, that doesn't tell the whole story. Keegan, who he has to guard, Keegan's a starter, and it was interesting to hear Keith say, yeah, I think the Jabari, he's not saying that Jabari Smith shouldn't, or that Keegan should make more than Jabari Smith. What he said was Jabari Smith taking a team-friendly deal affected Keegan, because I think he's saying they both maybe should have got paid a little bit more. So now Keegan is kind of out on a limb saying, look, I know Jabari Smith Jr. took this. I think I bring more value to the table on this team than Jabari Smith Jr. does to the Rockets.
Where I also think it's different too, right, is that it's team-friendly in the sense that Jabari Smith Jr. won't hit free agency again until 2031. Mm-hmm. It's essentially 6 years locked in with Houston, which is team-friendly because if Jabari Smith Jr. makes a leap to become someone's number 3, well, he's getting paid number 4, number 5 prices, which are only going to go up as the salary cap goes up 10% every year for the next 4 years because of the new TV deal. So the length of the contract is the big thing that made it team-friendly for the Rockets. I don't know if Keegan looks at, or Keegan's agent, I guess I should say, looks at that deal and says, we want to also do the 5-year deal and lock up a big long-term investment, or if they say, we've got a better chance on this team to make a leap and then be worth $30 million in free agency next summer.
Yeah.
That's kind of the question you got to ask yourself, because Jabari Smith isn't going to start on the Rockets.
Yeah, and now I'm thinking, funny enough, after we spoke with Brendan and Frankie yesterday, I thought that the Kings, and Brendan mostly alluded to the Kings getting something done, but I thought, okay, maybe they have a chance because they could always match. After hearing from Keith, feels like the Kings need to just not mess around. And because they don't, that's the other thing, they don't have anybody like Keegan. So, and you don't have a clear path to get anybody else like Keegan. So what are we actually talking about?
Well, and this is the other thing is, while all these teams have money coming off the books, what money is coming off Sacramento's books next summer? It's $2 million of Keon Ellis. If you want to move DeMar DeRozan, that deal's non-guaranteed. That's only $15 million.
Yeah.
You have Keegan's salary slot, but the thing is, you're allowed to go over the salary cap to sign extensions with players that you have their bird rights for. So there might not be a better situation right now for the team than signing Keegan to a deal and knowing what that dollar value is going into next year. The only reason I would say it's maybe not is if they are going to make like major roster changes at the deadline, and they won't know what their salary slots are because they've traded one of their, let's say, 3 highest paid players, mostly Levine, Sabonis, or DeRozan.
Yeah, so there's a path for everyone. We still got to get to Keith's take on Malik Monk. Keith thinks Malik Monk does have value. Would you look at that? I keep trying to tell y'all, we can be, don't let me get optimistic up in this piece. We can get optimistic. That was a great call from Keith Smith. We love when he joins us on the show. Let's have a conversation about, honestly, and he said it in the nicest way possible, but honestly, Sabonis and the conversation of his value, that might be closer to, I don't want to say a bad value, but that might be closer to bad than good. And if Domantas Sabonis isn't feeling it in Sacramento, what his options even are. Let's discuss that. And could Domantas Sabonis request a trade if the season gets off to a rocky start, and what that whole process would look like? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Visit SactownSports.com and join the Sactown Sports 1140 newsletter.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
The handoff to McCaffrey. McCaffrey up the middle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. Ball will be set near hash. Here it comes from left to right. It's on its way. Plenty of distance, and it is good. Left to right. Morstead to hold. Good snap. Kick is on its way, and it is right on through. Pipes another one for Pinheiro. For his 4th field goal attempt. It is up. It is on its way, and of course, it is good.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Shop top brand tires at Big O with the lowest tire price guarantee. Now through October 19th, get up to $100 instant savings on 4 select in-stock Nitto, Nexen, or Toyo brand tires. Installation required. Disposal fees extra. Not good with other offers. See Big O dealer for details.
Hey man, gaining weight, low energy, lost drive? It could be your testosterone. Revive Men's Health Sacramento helps men get their edge back. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations.
When men start treatment, it's not just their labs that change. You see it in their posture, their energy, and how they walk into the room. That's why I do what I do.
Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Born in 1892 to a socially prominent family, she was the consummate athlete, proficient in golf, tennis, marksmanship, swimming, and car racing. Many considered her the greatest horsewoman of the century. She was a pioneer in the field of golf course development with 3 world-class courses on her resume: the Women's National Golf and Tennis Club, Cypress Point, and Pasatiempo. Working for SFB Morse of Pebble Beach fame led to her 2nd golf course development, which many consider to be the greatest golf course in the world, Cypress Point, where she developed a lifelong friendship and professional relationship with famed architect Alistair McKenzie. Pasatiempo in Santa Cruz was her 3rd development, where she hosted the likes of Bobby Jones, Will Rogers, Babe Saharias, and more. Today, her place is alongside many others in the World Golf Hall of Fame. Congratulations, Marion Hollins. a visionary golf course architect and pioneer of the game. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Thanks again to Keith Smith of Spa Track and the NBA front office show. And, I think the big thing when it comes to what Keith had to say is whether or not Domantas Sabonis will be interested in moving on and what that world looks like. And for me, Keith essentially saying, and I'm paraphrasing here, that guys that cost what Domantas Sabonis costs, everything should orbit around them, which is weird because it kind of did in Sacramento. And as much as I defended Domantas Sabonis last week about the playoff stuff, and I'm still standing by that. But it's funny because stuff in Sacramento did revolve around him, even with De'Aaron, especially Beam Team season. It's weird because I don't know if it's about, going back to the season after Beam Team, I think that did so much damage on everyone. Everyone. Mike Brown, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Malik Monk, everybody besides De'Aaron Fox. Because the idea of bringing in DeMar DeRozan and the Kings trying to assume, which was not agreed on by everyone, by the way. I know that for a fact. Had some conversations during Summer League. I know that for a fact. But anyway, the past is the past. But bringing somebody like that in, it changed everything. And now they're trying to get back to it with Domantas Sabonis. And part of it is, let's just call a spade. He's probably a little overpaid, okay? He's probably a little overpaid. Then with that being said, the whole orbiting thing, other guys, and we've seen other AAVs that are similar, the orbiting thing, it doesn't look the same now because you've surrounded him with people, you've paid him this money, then surrounded him with people that do not complement his game. DeMar DeRozan, and then you double down on Zach LaVine. So I agree with what Keith is saying, but I do think, I don't know who that team is, but I do think there's probably 3 to 5 teams out there that feel like, hey, we have a better setup for Domantas Sabonis, so we're willing to pay him a little extra because we think he's going to be the best version of himself on this team.
Yeah, I mean, I can probably give you 3 examples off the top of my head. I mean, the Detroit Pistons, if they flipped your beefy boy Jalen Duren, that would make sense.
Right.
The Orlando Magic, that would be a situation if they flipped out Wendell Carter and kind of had him play in the center with Bane as a shooter now and Paolo running point. We've talked about the Grizzlies putting him alongside Jaren Jackson Jr., that would be one that would make a lot of sense. Again, there's plenty of situations where Sabonis is a max player playing at an all-NBA level, and that works out better for that team. I just think it's not that he's overpaid; it's that not all max contracts are created equal in the NBA. Once you sign your 3rd contract, you can make 30% of the salary cap versus 35% if you're a super max player. Not all max contracts are created equal. And Sabonis, while he is a max player in the NBA, he can't be a number 1 on a team that is competing for a championship that also doesn't have another max level player. He is not like Giannis in the sense of because you have Giannis, you will be a top 6 seed every single year. which is not a slight on Sabonis. There's only like 7 of those guys in the NBA. But if you put him alongside Cade Cunningham, all of a sudden it's like, that makes a ton of sense because he's now a max-level player with a max-level ball-handling point guard who's also 23 years old.
Right, and that's the tough thing when you attempt to assess Domantas Sabonis and what he does bring to the table. As far as how he feels about it, I personally don't think that if things go wrong, Domantas Sabonis would ask out, and it's not the same as Kyle, you weren't here, but we were joking about Alvin Kamara and how Alvin Kamara doesn't want to leave. And by the way, I saw Dame. You're never going to guess where I saw Dame Lillard. It just all comes back to my whole thing with Dame and Devin Booker and these athletes that just have a ton of money. You'll never guess where I saw Damian Lillard just yesterday on Instagram in a rap video. Okay.
Yeah, what was that?
It's Cena Wynn. She's a rapper out of Portland. People really like her, and she did a remix to Kendrick's song, and Dame was featured on it in a Blazers hoodie, just a normal hoodie, not dressed up at all. Dame is home. This is where he always has wanted to be. And I think that Domantas Sabonis, I know he's doing stuff with wine out there in Napa, and he's very comfortable. I don't think that Domantas Sabonis would ask out, because I do think that based on his current contract, like you said, there are teams out there, but it wouldn't be a laundry list. The Kings might not get back as much as they want to get back. He might not want to restart. He just had another kid over the summer. I don't see Domantas Sabonis. It would have to get ugly. I think that he is a guy that feels like, look at Kevin Love, right? Kevin Love, he was there through the championships. Those years he was still on the Cavs. That brother had no business being on the Cavs, but he was still on the Cavs.
He was making a lot of money.
Right. He was still on the Cavs, and he wanted to hang out on the Cavs. Then he finally gets moved to Miami. Now and this is why he didn't want to move, because now he's stuck in Utah, and he doesn't want to be there. So I think Domantas Sabonis would see that, say, look, maybe we get lucky. If we hold on to Keegan, we hold on to Keon, maybe we get lucky in the draft, and we can go from there. I'm going to finish my contract, and maybe it's not about asking out. Maybe it's about, I will finish my contract here. If y'all want to move me, that's a different conversation. But I got the kiddos. I love Napa. I love grapes. I'm going to finish my contract here, and we can have a conversation. There's no reason for Domantas Sabonis to ask out. De'Aaron Fox was in a fairly different situation. He was looking to get another contract. His coach had just got canned. Right? Domantas Sabonis has his coach. So
also, De'Aaron Fox really seems to want to win championships.
Yeah.
That's a thing that seems very important to him in a way that he's willing, clearly, I mean, not clearly, he's only moved once, but is willing to kind of be one of these mercenaries that bounces around to different teams.
Yeah.
Which you don't see very often anymore.
Yeah. And yeah, it's intriguing, but I think Domantas Sabonis, it'd have to get real ugly. It would have to get real ugly.
Right, and we talked about this over the summer, and probably a little bit before you left, but like Sabonis also, whether the team can compete or not, the team is doing a lot of things to build around Domantas Sabonis. Like once they moved on from Fox, they were like, it is your team. You want a point guard? We'll get a point guard.
Yeah.
You want to be we'll hire your coach, and obviously there's extenuating circumstances there, but like your guy is now the coach. You asked for a point guard. We got a point guard. We are doing things to build this team around Domantas Sabonis. All the advertising I see with the Kings has Domantas Sabonis' face in the middle of it.
Yeah.
They are making this thing where he is the face of the franchise, and you have to feel good about that because wins and losses you can't control. There's so many circumstances, but the process of building around him as the star and the person who wants to stay in Sacramento, I think that's important to think about when considering Domantas Sabonis' future on top of all the stuff you said. He just likes being here.
916-339-1140. Yeah, you got to have somebody for those posters. That is for sure. Let's get to Leo, who wants to be a part of the conversation. What's up, Leo? What you got for us?
My man, I got to add on to this Sabonis talk.
Mm-hmm.
And I've heard it talked about, but it's always kind of glossed over as, he's one of the strengths of the team. But I think the biggest weakness of the team is the fact Sabonis cannot play alongside another big.
Yeah.
And we always talk about the defense being an issue, team rebounding being an issue, but he handcuffs other bigs because they've been there. You've had the Metus, you've had the Rashawn Holmes, you had Valanciunas, but yet they're waiting for their turn to get in because Sabonis, he cannot play alongside another big.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a good point, Leo. And Leo, you kind of lead us to a conversation that's confusing because I'll put it to you like this. I'll use the same word. Domantas Sabonis might be the most confusing basketball player in the league. And I'll explain why that is the case when we get to the other side. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer. Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
Sacramento Kings basketball is back. Be there for opening night at Golden One Center on Friday, October 24th, when the Kings take on the Utah Jazz at 7 p.m. Following opening night, the Kings will take on the LA Lakers on October 26th and then the Golden State Warriors on November 5th. Don't miss these marquee matchups and more great games coming to Golden One Center this season. Head to kings.com/tickets to secure your seat to be part of the action.
I found out that one of my players was vaping, and I said, hey, right now it's time to be honest with me. He said almost everybody in my team was vaping. The next day, all the parents came in. I said, how many of you guys think that your kids are vaping? Not one of them raised their hand. There's a joint fight to make something better. We don't sit back and let it happen.
Coach Sanchez is exposing Big Tobacco's playbook. Learn how he and other Californians are beating Big Tobacco at undo.org.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm? I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business calm at ooma.com/radio.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The statewide special election is November 4th. All registered voters will receive their ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
A little squirrely. Don't worry if you're just now joining. We've been plenty optimistic on this show. You can rewind or check it out on the Sactown Sports app if you don't believe us. But Leo brought up something as far as the Kings and Domantas Sabonis and how Domantas Sabonis can't play with another big. And it led me to a thought that I've had for a while now, that Domantas Sabonis might be the most confusing player in the NBA. He reminds me of that old saying, can't live with him, can't live without him. And that's where the Kings are at. They traded Tyrese Halliburton. They bring in somebody who is a dog when it comes to all these stats, but the way he gets the stats, and because he's not necessarily a game changer, you're giving up the ability to maybe be a bit more balanced for him to just have these crazy stats. But when you need something possibly at the end of the game or whatever it is, he's not that guy. But then on the other hand, you're paying him like that guy. And that's what makes him so confusing. And that's why some people choose to be a bit negative when it comes to Domantas Sabonis, even though we do think that there's some fits for him out there, as Kyle alluded to and gave some examples before the break. But yeah, I think that's where I land with Domantas Sabonis. He's just confusing because he does so much. You know how good he is, but he does limit you in a way. And to Keith Smith's point, there are some teams for that price point that would not be interested in getting into that business. Look, the Zubac thing, it's continuing. A lot of people are saying he should have been All-NBA last season, and now people are saying that he's for sure going to be All-NBA this season. He's making, what, 16 a year or something ridiculous like that? Maybe less than that?
I think it's like 20.
Okay, but it's half. It's at least half of what Domantas Sabonis is making. And did the Kings get a little bit lost in the sauce at the time? I mean, Domantas Sabonis, he was on the MVP ladder, and Zubac has not been on the MVP ladder. So, it's tough. I think we'll know more when it's time for Şengün to get paid, and whether, look, hindsight's 2020. It doesn't change anything now. But once Şengün gets paid, even though, he's much younger than Domantas Sabonis, that'll make you feel a little bit better or worse about the Domantas Sabonis thing. But he's just confusing. And I do think that why the Kevin O'Connors of the world, when the Sacramento Kings were more at the forefront of the NBA, why they had such harsh words to say about him is simply because of the price tag and the fact that he does limit you, because you can't stick in a Jared Allen, right? You can't. You can't stick in Valanciunas. They barely played together. You can't stick in a Valanciunas. You can't stick in a Drew Eubanks. I know people want to do that, but you can't do it. So that's kind of an issue, and why you want to defend Domantas Sabonis, but it's difficult. And on top of all that, you've put together a team that if you were to put together a dream team for Domantas Sabonis, you need a stretch. You need a Lauri Markkanen type, but can give you something on the defensive end. That's why the Jaren Jackson Jr. thing has always come up. They also haven't put around the pieces that you would need to put around to get the best. They made it worse. It was closer to that with the Beam team. They've now made it worse, which is not helping.
Okay, so before I get to that point, because it is a good one, Alperen Şengün already has his rookie scale extension.
That's right. Yeah.
But his agent did not get him a max. He signed the deal before last year, right before the same deadline Keegan Murray's up against right now. He got 5 years, $185 million. Comes out to about $37 a year. He could have signed for over $200 million on that 5-year deal, but he didn't get that at the time from the Rockets.
Well, he had his breakout season. He did it wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
He had his breakout season after he signed the deal.
Yeah, exactly. Well, his agent should have still negotiated for him to get a max deal, and he didn't get it. So anyways, he's going to make 34 this year, then 35, then 37, then 39. He has a player option for $40 million in the last year, but he'll decline that because he's going to be an all-star. So look at it basically like it's a 4-year, $144 million deal, which is less than what Sabonis got. But again, this is where I said not all max contracts are equal. To your point about the Jaren Jackson Jr.'s and the shot blocking fours, I think that's always been the point of contention with Sabonis, right? Because he was playing alongside Miles Turner, but he was playing kind of the tall man role. Yeah. And Miles Turner was your big. And now as time has gone on, Miles Turner's kind of gone out to the Brook Lopez role. But I think regardless of who's playing the 4 and who's playing the 5, you need a shot blocking big to play alongside Sabonis, who can also shoot threes.
Right. Now let's name all those guys.
Brook Lopez, Miles Turner now, but not Miles Turner 4 years ago. Chet is the best example I could think of. Jarrett Allen is a great example. Like, Jarrett Allen might be a big, but if he could shoot threes, you could play him with Sabonis. The problem is he can't shoot threes.
Mobley.
Yeah, but I think Mobley's closer to Sabonis than he is to a shot blocking four.
He can shoot, though. It's a very specific, like Liam Neeson. He needs a very specific set of tools, and he doesn't have any of the. He's got Keegan.
Yeah, he's got.
And not even Levine don't play the way he likes to play.
Keegan, who's a decent shot blocker for his size, but it's not having. Look, even like Derek Lively would be fine. Like, Lively,
he doesn't shoot, though.
He doesn't shoot the three, but like, you just need someone to block shots because Sabonis is an excellent defender. He's just not an elite shot blocker. Which
I don't know if he's an excellent defender, Kyle.
He's serviceable defender.
No, that's a lot.
The grades we got said he was a B+ on defense.
There's always a grade. I'm an eye test guy.
Sabonis is a serviceable defender.
Yes. He's not the worst defender on the Kings.
What is the word between serviceable and excellent?
Have you seen that on social media? It's for baseball, the Hall of Pretty Good.
Yes.
So I would say pretty good.
Yeah, what was it, Shane Victorino?
Yes,
and like
that's him.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
He's pretty good.
Yes. Not terrible, not excellent, as you said.
Pretty good. On a team with Levine, DeRozan.
Yeah. Maybe you got tricked into thinking it was excellent because of the other defenders.
Fine. Let me phrase it differently. He is a great defender in the same way that Jokic is a great defender. Like, he's not going to get played off the floor, but
stop with these greats and these excellence, Kyle. You need to stop throwing these adjectives around.
My point, though, is just we need a shot blocking big, which is why the Maxime Reynaud thing is so appealing to so many people, because he has the measurables to fit exactly what you're looking for.
Can he do it, though?
Can he block shots? Which what was the story with his coach saying he wasn't asked to do that?
Well, they didn't want him, and Peg on the Sac Chat is saying, can Max be a high block specialist and leave Domas in the low block or vice versa? The word was at Stanford, he was just really important to the team. So they didn't want him attempting to block shots because they couldn't let him get in foul trouble. So that's what they said. That's it.
All right, let's see who was leading the league in blocks last year, and then we can figure out who was shooting good from 3-point.
Go get whoever this person is. Why don't you just give up 3 firsts for Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I mean, if I could, I would.
3, Keegan Murray, they need shooting. Go to the Grizzlies right now. If you're really not going to say uncle, go to the Grizzlies right now, because you know Jaren Jackson hates rebounding. Say, we'll give you 2 firsts and Keegan Murray and Keon, and go get Jaren Jackson. Somebody's getting in the car saying, Allen, what is in your coffee? Trust me, I would not do this. But if they're going to not say uncle, then just go do it then.
All right, I am filtering by blocks. So we have players who there's 28 players who averaged at least 1 block per game. And then I'm going to sort it by 3-point percentage. So like anyone who shot.
This is like a V lookup on Excel.
No, I'm just on NBA. Wow. First in the league, Wemby at 3.8 blocks per game.
Somebody said Wemby on the text line.
Yeah. Second on the list, Walker Kessler 2.4. So Wemby was a block and a half ahead of the next closest player in the league.
But Walker doesn't shoot threes.
Yeah, Walker stinks. Guess who comes in third? Miles Turner shooting 40% from 3.
But maybe you don't need him to be a 3-point shooter if Domas is going to keep doing these quick trigger threes, even though he doesn't hit the rim when he does these quick trigger threes.
Okay, this one was great for my other argument, but shooting 32% from 3 at 1.4 blocks. Big Stu, Isaiah Stewart with the Pistons.
He can shoot a little bit.
But that's more an argument for the Pistons to go trade for Sabonis than it is for the Kings to trade for Big Stu.
Well, listen.
Okay.
What you got?
Let's see who else we got.
Would you get Would you do Jaden Ivey? Get a point guard in here?
If I'm trading Sabonis, I'm trying to get Ivey and Duren.
Do it.
If I'm doing that.
I'd do it right now.
Your favorite guy, averaging 1.4 blocks per game.
Don't tick me off. Who?
Shooting 35% from three.
Obi?
Peyton Watson.
Get this. How tall is he?
I don't know, but he blocks 1.4 shots per game.
That thing is rigged.
Yves Missi apparently shot 0% from three last year. Yeah, Zach Edey is on there shooting 34%. Yeah, there's not a ton.
From what?
From three. Zach Edey was a 34% three-point shooter last year.
Whatever one. How do you get to 34% from making one?
That's a great question.
So he must have taken two because 1 for 3, that'd be 33%.
It's not quite that. It's like 34%.
Right. So I'm saying he must have made 2.
I'll look that up during.
Don't bother.
The
point is,
this one also going to piss you off. Khalil Ware.
Oh my!
Could have drafted him instead of Devin Carter.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Khalil Ware, 1.1 blocks per game, shot 31.5 from three. So Khalil Ware, perfect Sabonis pairing.
If only they had the opportunity to draft him.
If only they had the foresight of the Heat, who have basically the same player in Bam Adebayo.
Yeah.
If only they had the foresight the Miami Heat had.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Why would you tell me that? I was having a good day.
Yeah, those are the only ones other than like Kevin Durant, which like duh. I
can't believe Khalil Ware's on that list.
So your choices are for players who had 1 or more blocks per game and shot better than 30%, who are reasonable to trade for. It's Miles Turner, Brooke Lopez, Donovan Klingon, Isaiah Stewart, Peyton Watson, Jalen Duren, Jonathan Isaac, Khalil Ware, and
I'm not trusting some of these percentages.
Luke Cornett.
You just said Donovan Klingon.
He
definitely took 4 threes.
Let's see. Donovan Klingon was technically he was 30% from three. I don't know what he shot.
The point is, it's a very specific skill set that Domantas Sabonis has, and the Kings, they've already done a poor job of the other guys besides the bigs, and on top of that, they don't have a big. And I don't know where they go from here. All we got to do at this point is, maybe to that point, just pray. Right? If you know how we were trying to make Valanciunas shoot corner threes and Isaac Jones, maybe Isaac Jones can shot block, or just say Maxime Reynaud, your job. How do you become a better shot blocker? Right? Or your job is to block shots and shoot corner threes.
There's one last one at the bottom of the list. 0.9 blocks per game, 36% from three, Matas Buzelis.
Well, they couldn't have got him.
No, but it's your guy.
That is my guy. And watch out, man. He might be most improved. 916-339-1140. Let's keep the calls coming. ESPN, they created a Big 3 tier list. Where do the Kings fall on that Big 3 tier list? And who do you think is in their Big 3? Also, we have the Kimpton Sawyer giveaway. So we got that secret keyword. Down south, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Thunder, feel the thunder. It's the energy all around you. Lightning and the thunder. The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it. Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder. Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Folsom Lake Honda. Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here, talking to you about my good friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Now, they're upgrading their offerings to you to include plumbing, bringing that same expertise and experience into the plumbing space. They're no longer just heat and air. They're now your American Energy Home Pros. And you've heard me talk about them for years as your second opinion partner. Now you can still get a second opinion on any HVAC service or replacement, but now you can also get a second opinion on any of your plumbing services. And when you really think about it, how do we know how much it's supposed to cost? At the very least, you'll know you're in the ballpark, and I can all but guarantee you they'll beat the price. They'll come out for free. They'll give you a second opinion. And all you got to do is give them a call, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Serving the greater Sacramento area since 1981. American Energy, making the uncomfortable comfortable.
This 49ers Red Zone Report is being brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
The handoff to McCaffrey. McCaffrey up the middle. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, 49ers. Ball will be set near hash. Here it comes from left to right. It's on its way. Plenty of distance, and it is good. Left to right. Morstead to hold. Good snap. Kick is on its way, and it is right on through. Pipes another one for Pinero. His fourth field goal attempt. It is up. It is on its way, and of course, it is good.
Ready, set, win big. When the 49ers win, you score. With 49% off any large pizza, only at Mountain Mike's Pizza. Celebrate every game day with your favorites from our legendary crispy, curly pepperoni, bold sauced up wings, garlic butter drenched sides, and gooey sweet desserts, all hot, fresh, and built for a Niners victory. Download the Mountain Mike's app, join Mountain Rewards, and turn every Niners win into a pizza party. Let's go Niners. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza the way it ought to be.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-646-5454. That's 800-646-5454.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your home for Kings basketball for over 25 seasons.
Hammer time thrown down by the league.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports, 1140. Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
2 hours down, 2 to go. And it is time. Okay, I'm telling you, it's such a good prize. We've been running this for 2 weeks now, and I think, is it done at the end of this week, Kyle?
I believe it's another week.
Another week. Okay, so there are a lot of names in there, so you're going to want to continue to text in these texts. And remember, I see some of you texting in block. That was the number, or that was the keyword for the morning show. You need to text in this new one after 10 o'clock hits, all right? From 10 to 2, and obviously we're giving you the number at 12. So you texting in block, I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know if it counts or not. All I know is that for this show, you need to text in the new keyword, okay? So every time I bring it up, I see some block keywords coming in. I thought y'all were trying to block the station. I don't know what was going on, but I see it's one of the keywords. So today's keyword.
I was like, those people really hate Keith Smith.
Yeah, I'm like, dang. Sactown Sports is giving you a chance to win a pair of lower-level seats to the Sacramento Kings versus OKC game on November 7th, a one-night stay at the Kimpton Sawyer and a $200 gift card to Revival, downtown Sacramento social hotspot. Enjoy elevated vibes, stylish crowd, and the perfect view of the beam after a Kings win over the defending NBA champions. Text in today's keyword, 916-339-1140. Now, for your chance to win, that keyword is tickets. 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 Kyle, I ever tell you about that spelling bee that I was in?
I feel like maybe we've talked about it before.
You were in a spelling bee?
I was in the spelling bee. I didn't do very well, but my brother won the spelling bee.
See, man, you and these brothers. But by the way,
what?
Don't cut that. The keyword is tickets.
Something you want to say to me, Alan?
The keyword is tickets. Tickets. 916-339-1140. 916-339-1140. Kyle and these brothers. That's the thing, though.
Continue the spelling bee story.
The spelling bee story, I got 7th place, and I think it was like 4th grade up, right? I went to private school. Shout out St. Francis of Assisi in Concord. And it was school-wide, right? I think I might have been 6th, 7th grade. I'm not going to lie, sit here and say I was a 4th grader. It might have been 5th. It was either 5th, 6th, or 7th. I know I wasn't an 8th grader. And Kyle, I got to the top 7, right? And I've always been pretty good with the English language, right? And I get to the top 7. I'm thinking, dang, I might win this. And then you get to go to the next round, right? The citywide or whatever it is. I'm thinking, dang, I might win this. I get up there, got my stupid smile on my face. I'm like, I know a good amount of words here. Your word is cauliflower. Cauliflower.
And just...
Oh, man. I got nothing.
I mean, it's flour.
Nothing. I mean, I sat there. This is how bad it was. I sat there for about, however long it was. Felt like 10 minutes. Probably was about 15 seconds. And I'm sitting there debating in my mind whether it's C-O-L-L-I or C-O-L-I. And I'm sitting there debating this thing. That's how far off I was.
And then you got to figure out which flour.
Right. And I butcher it. I'm done. I go back and I said, oh, man, it was 2 L's, wasn't it? And somebody looked at me, brother, you were done after the first letter. After the second letter, you just didn't know it. I'm sitting there wasting everybody's time as they wait for me to decide between 1 L and 2.
C-O-A.
Yeah,
Dang.
Cooked. Absolutely cooked.
Nothing left.
Top 7 finish, right? Can't be mad at that.
There's probably one person on the text line right now who's like, Alan, it's 1 L.
Yeah, seriously. So did not get it done. And now everyone's trolling me, and they're all texting in block. They're texting in the wrong number. It's ticket today. It's tickets.
It's a really good joke if they're doing it on purpose. Like, if you're fine not entering, it's a really good joke that you're sending the word to troll us.
All right, but you're not counting, so joke's on you. 916-339-1140.
Also, is it ticket or tickets?
It is tickets with an S.
Yeah, I see people.
I will allow ticket over block.
Yeah, I see multiple people sending in ticket without the S. It's gotta be with the S or it won't count.
There you go. If you want your chance to spend a night, a bubble bath, a Texas-sized king-size bed, all at the Kimpton Sawyer. I don't know if it's Texas-sized, but I'm sure that bed is big and comfy.
Probably a queen at the Kimpton.
I'm sure that those pillows.
Someone texted in ticket with an exclamation point.
You know what? You guys are getting on my nerves now. 916-339-1140.
Someone texting cauliflower, please.
We have this tier list, and like I said, we've been very optimistic today on the show. This one, though, from Tim Bontemps, might not make you feel as warm and cozy when it comes to the Kings because he did a tier list. Okay, he did a tier list of the big threes in the NBA, and Keith Smith joined us for some of that optimism. Keith Smith of Spa Track, that's up on YouTube in the Sactown Sports app if you want to go check that out right now if you missed it in the 11 o'clock hour. But Tim Bontemps, he has created these big three tier lists, ranking top trios of all 30 NBA teams. I don't even know who the trio is for the Kings, by the way, but let's go through them all. Let's start with a league of their own, okay? Tier 1, and here are the teams. A League of Their Own, or here are the tiers. A League of Their Own, Knocking on the Door, Best of the East, Ascendant Young Teams, Gap Years, Old Stars with Big Questions, Changing the Course, Stuck in the Middle, Starting a Rebuild, and Rebuilding. These seem far too detailed, Tim. These seem far, far too detailed, but let's play the game anyway. Tier 1, A League of Their Own. Oklahoma City Thunder with Shea, Chet, and Jalen Williams. All right, that's A League of Their Own. They're the only one in that tier. Tier 2, Knocking on the Door. The only tier knocking on the door, Aaron Gordon, Nikola Jokic, and Jamal Murray. I'll be honest with you, I still can't get over Aaron Gordon's leap offensively. Somebody posted on social media, Aaron Gordon. This dude is boogieing with the basketball. He crosses up someone and pulls up to a mid-range. 3 years ago, he was the offensive anchor. He was the guy that you said, if this guy beats us, it's okay. I don't know what, he got a bag all of a sudden. Aaron Gordon went to the bag work factory where Austin Rivers is the CEO.
I don't need you to have the bag work.
But Aaron said, but I do though. And now he's randomly got a bag. This stuff only happens to teams like the Nuggets. Only the Nuggets draft dudes during Taco Bell commercials, and then they get the bag worked. Then they get Jamal Murray, who only plays 40 games, but when he does, he's a top 5 point guard. Why do these teams figure it out, but the Kings, they just refuse to figure it out? Who is going to have the leap? Aaron Gordon, he was burnt out. He flamed out in Orlando and reshaped his game. Who does that?
I mean, you must have a really good coach or something like that.
And where would they get a coach like that from?
I don't know. And maybe like...
And then can him.
Well,
and you know what? This new one's going to be even better because it's the Nuggets.
Well, maybe wouldn't you also probably have really good assistant coaches? Like maybe one who was Jokic's personal coach for a whole bunch of years. I'm talking about Jordi Fernandez.
I know you are.
Yeah, I know, but not everyone at home knows Jordi Fernandez was Jokic's personal coach. And now they have 2 assistant coaches that are NBA head coaches. And you've got, what happened?
Everyone's texting in cauliflower,
but spelling it incorrectly.
Some are spelling it correctly, some incorrectly, and someone also texted in the modern spelling developed. It's all the breakdown from 16th century to 1590. Other variants. You guys are funny. You guys are funny. I'll give you that. Everyone's in a good mood this Tuesday. It must be Taco Tuesday. What were you saying, Kyle?
It's not important. Anyways, the Nuggets now, as they revive Aaron Gordon's career, and Christian Brown's about to get $120 million. And
just upsetting.
And Jokic is running plays on the sidelines and they're winning playoff games. They now have 2 assistant coaches that are NBA head coaches, and their former head coach is doing NBA Countdown.
Still calling out. He's got... Michael Malone is funny because he's just calling out everybody now. He's still mad at the Kings. Now he's mad at the Nuggets. It's just a laundry list of teams, and he doesn't care. At least he's got a ring, and he'll probably be a coach at some point again in the near future. Next on the list, so they're the only ones in Tier 2. Tier 3 has a couple teams. Best of the East, the Cleveland Cavaliers, Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, and Evan Mobley. New York Knicks is the other team. OG, Jalen, and Karl Anthony Towns. I'm sure you're glad Mikal Bridges, his bum self, isn't in that big 3, huh?
Where's Josh Hart,
Oh, give me a break.
He gets triple doubles. OG Anunoby, it's only when Suni Lee's there.
Oh, I'm not touching that one. Tier 4, the Ascendant Young Teams. This is interesting. Tier 4, the Atlanta Hawks. The 5th team on this list, Dyson Daniels, gets better.
They do Jalen Johnson.
Gets better. Dyson Daniels, Jalen Johnson, and Zachary Reese-Sachet. No Trae Young, who, by the way, that reminds me, Trae Young, get ready for it. Exactly 2 hours ago at 10:11 a.m., Trae Young tweets this as he's hoping for that extension. Okay? Trae Young tweets in quotes. In actual quotes on the tweet. I'm not just quoting him. Double quotes. It's just business, ... and a laughing emoji. So everybody is saying, okay, clearly they're not giving him the extension, which means he's probably getting dealt. And they're going to find out if Dyson Daniels can actually dribble the basketball.
Trae Young for Dennis Schroeder, Malik Monk, and Dario Saric?
Hey, man, if you're not going to say no, they didn't want him in the summer, they might want him now. So I had to say that as, clearly the Atlanta Hawks are saying, you know what, Trae, I think we're good here. I think we got enough. Thank you for your time. Thank you for the Ice Trae celebration and hanging out with Quavo from the Migos. I think we're going to move on now.
I mean, they've got a really good young core. I'm trying to think who the other team is that has.
I've just never seen Dyson Daniels shoot a basketball. That's just the one thing.
I mean,
and it's a big thing.
Well, your defensive player of the year and most improved. I mean, he gets buckets. He just gets them all within like two.
Is he another Amen Thompson disciple? Are they just the same type of, I'm just going to slink around the basket and just hustle buckets?
I mean, sort of. He's also gets a lot of his points on fast breaks because he gets steals.
And I'm not sitting here acting like I watch a ton of Hawks basketball. But he kind of has changed from a point guard to a shooting guard. Maybe that's why they're moving off of Trae. Maybe they feel like he does have something there, but with Trae there, who has the ball the whole time because he's assist hunting, Dyson Daniels can't develop as a point guard.
I mean, he shot 34% from three last year.
How many is he taking a game?
3.
Okay.
Again, it's up. His usage rate is up.
And
from
how
where it
old
was
is
with
he?
The Pelicans. He is 21, turns 22.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. We got a problem. Yeah, it's good. Trae, thank you for the Ice Trae Sellies. We got some guys now.
Yeah, I also haven't watched enough of the Hawks to kind of figure it out, but like, is Sachet kind of like one of these Paolo Bancheros where like he can handle the point guard position if like when Trae Young's out of the game? I don't know enough about the Hawks to know what Sachet's game is. Only time I saw them was when Dyson Daniels was doing the lock me up celebration because he beat the Kings at the last second.
Yeah. They say, I think he's just a generic store of Victor Wembanyama. This is what it reads. Sachet, although no Cooper Flagg or Victor Wembanyama, had a fine rookie season after Atlanta selected him number 1 in the 2024 draft. It sounds like he's good, but there's just these freaks running around in Dallas and San Antonio. All in Texas, by the way. Weird. So with these freaks running around in Texas, Sachet looks a little bit different. If those freaks weren't running around in Texas, Sachet would probably have a little bit more pub behind him.
He finished second behind Castle for Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he's a good player. Just nobody cares because you got the alien and the main event running around in Texas.
All right, we'll see how it goes.
Detroit Pistons next in the ascendant young teams. Cade Cunningham, Ron Holland, and Asar Thompson. No harm, no foul there. Next, you have, and it's interesting how he's choosing to say these big three because for the Houston Rockets, who are next on this list, and this is, and I don't even know if this is in any type, he does have them tiered, but this has Alperen Şengün, Reed Shepherd, and Amen Thompson. There's no Kevin Durant. So I guess that's how he's deciding to add them. I mean, he had Şengün, Reed Shepherd, and Van Vliet last season. So, look, man, I don't know what to do with the Rockets. They're just in a good spot. Next, still with the ascendant young teams, Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, and Julius Randle. That's a stretch. If we're saying, I guess they're young-ish, but Julius Randle isn't per se. After that, Paolo Banchero, Desmond Bane, and Franz Wagner. They should be much higher on the list. I mean,
they're ascendant.
They should be much higher on the list.
Still haven't won a playoff series.
They're high. They should be higher on the list. That's all I got to say about that. After that, you got the bums in San Antonio, De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, and Victor Wembanyama. So I guess Stephon Castle is just chopped liver. They have too many.
That's crazy.
They have too many. Just too much.
Dylan Harper over the reigning Rookie of the Year is crazy.
Yeah. A gap year, tier 5, Boston Celtics, Jaylen Brown. He still has Jason Tatum, but Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Derek White. By the way, Anthony Simons, there was a side-by-side, and I don't know how much overlap there was with Anthony Simons and Dame, but that dude plays, the way he shoots, the way he kind of moves, just like Dame. It reminds me of the Jordan Love, Aaron Rodgers thing. Somebody said, Is anybody seeing Anthony Simons play? Doesn't he play just like Dame? And I was watching the kind of side-by-side. It's nuts. Now, the Dame, you have to be as good as Dame because the Dames of the world, a bit undersized, right? That's not what's the hot ticket these days. Dame started playing at a different time, but at least he shoots the ball way better than Ja Morant. But Anthony Simons, the Celtics are not, they're going to be around, man. They're going to be around.
I don't know. Their over-under's 35.5.
Smash it. Smash the over. Listen to me. Hear me and hear me good. Smash 35.5 for the Celtics?
Sorry, did I say 35? 38.5.
Smash it, less units. That's what they say.
Well, I think we also kind of skip over the fact that, like, Jaylen Brown had meniscus surgery this offseason.
No, he's good. Jaylen Brown is also everywhere. He's with streamers. He's on shows. That brother is everywhere.
Yeah. He loves himself some Jaylen Brown.
He's still doing the tour. Brother, you're not even the Finals MVP anymore, but he's still doing the tour. And good for him. Look, if that was me, I'd be touring every single day.
He wasn't allowed to do the tour last year because he was so mad about not being on the Olympic team.
Next on the list, gap year, Tyrese Halliburton, Andrew Nembhard, Pascal Siakam. I don't know if you saw, but Benedict Mathurin had a crazy game earlier this week. This is a perfect situation. Assuming that Tyrese comes back and is Tyrese Halliburton, these gap years, they can really help, man. I understand it stinks for the Pacers, but Nembhard, Pascal is still young enough that you're only wasting a year. But Nembhard, Mathurin, these guys are going to just shoot the basketball. Just get up shots all season long.
Until proven otherwise, I'm just thinking of Mathurin as just young Malik Monk. Like
he's more than that. He defends way better than Malik Monk.
I don't know about that.
And he's bigger.
I saw them check him into a game and he got played off the floor in the finals.
Well, that's why he's going to get his work in. Next on the list, old stars with big questions. Let me guess. The Mavericks, the Warriors, and the Clippers. Tier 6, the Dallas Mavericks, Anthony Davis, Cooper Flagg, and Kyrie. Next, Golden State Warriors, Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry, Draymond Green.
Okay, I haven't seen this yet. I can guess who the rest of the list is. It's Clippers, it's Lakers.
The last one's tough.
Oh, it's tough. Okay.
I would say so. You wouldn't initially think of them.
Miami Heat?
No.
No.
You're in the right conference, though.
Oh, okay, that's helpful. The Bucks?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's the Bucks.
I mean, that makes sense. They're pretty old.
So Clippers, Harden, Kawhi, and everyone's favorite big now, Ivica Zubac. The Lakers next, Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves. The Bucks, Giannis, Bobby Portis, everyone's favorite trade target that was never traded, and Miles Turner. Tier 7. We're all the way down to 7 now, people.
Sorry, just text of the day. 530 sent in a picture of a collie and a picture of a flower.
Enough.
Shout out to you, 530. That was the text of the day.
Enough with the cauliflower. Okay? Keep it coming. They're pretty funny. Next on the list, Tier 7, Memphis Grizzlies, Cedric Coward, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Ja Morant. Okay.
I had to Google who
Where is Jalen Wells?
Over Cedric Coward is kind of crazy. Coward was their first-round pick last year, but I was like, probably should go with Jalen Wells.
Yeah. Okay. Did he play?
Yeah. Well, no, he's a rookie this year.
This year. Okay.
He's a rookie this year. Also, Zach Edey, he was pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know why they chose Cows.
Changing course means Josh shouldn't even be on this. Or just give Jaren Jackson to the Kings or something. Next on the list, the team that is never healthy, the 76ers, VJ Edgecombe, Joel Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey.
Sure.
Yeah, why not? Tier 8. Okay, here we go. We're stuck in the middle.
Oh, there's just no way this isn't the Kings.
You have to. Okay, Kyle, let's test you. Who is in Tier 8? Why don't you just stick me in the middle?
I'm losing my mind just a little.
All right. There's 4.
There's 4 teams.
Yes.
Okay. The Bulls.
Correct.
Okay. Has to be the Bulls. The Kings.
Correct.
We haven't said Miami yet, so I got to go Miami.
Correct. This last one's tough.
It's tough. Yeah, we already said.
It's random.
I'm trying to think.
It's random based on who their 3 is. I'll give you that.
We already said Memphis, San Antonio, Dallas. We haven't said Portland.
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
Because we're up against it. It is on the East Coast. Eastern Conference team.
Eastern Conference. Oh, I know who it is. Is it
66666? That is correct. But here's what's weird. Scotty Barnes, Brandon Ingram, Colin Murray Boyles. They don't have RJ Barrett.
Yeah, I mean.
But if you're stuck in the middle, I mean, I guess that's the middle to me.
If you had asked me who the three they were going to pick were, I would have put Jakob Poeltl in there. I thought that's who they were going to say.
Okay. Can you guess the three for the Kings?
Domantas Sabonis. Zach LaVine. Oh, is it Keegan or DeRozan? I'll say Keegan.
Ladies and gentlemen, that brother who loves brothers is correct.
What?
No, you're right.
Sorry. I was
What the heck? You just going through.
I get the right, but that.
No, you hit the wrong thing. All right, here's the write-up. The 7-game series against the Warriors in the first round of the 2023 playoffs feels like a decade ago now. Thanks, Tim. De'Aaron Fox is now in San Antonio. Mike Brown is now in New York, and the Kings have morphed into a bizarro version of the Chicago Bulls with LaVine and DeMar DeRozan back together again. Murray is likely to get an extension done with Sacramento in the coming days, but he's the one long-term bright spot on this roster despite missing – I don't agree with that – despite missing the first several weeks of the upcoming season with the thumb injury. The rest – either in their prime or aging out of it. It's unclear what path this team will take from here. Last year, it was Murray, Sabonis, and, of course, De'Aaron Fox. That is Tier 8. After that, Tier 9 starting a rebuild, and they have a bunch of teams in there. So that's the Then Tier 10, rebuilding. So there's starting a rebuild, and then there's rebuilding. When we return, why Keegan Murray and that injury could cost the Kings Keon Ellis. But what do you mean by that? Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer. Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
I joined the military for my kid and his mom. I miss my son a lot. One of the things with the military is tobacco, but I saw a lot of people try to deal with mental issues. Everyone's vaping constantly. After my first hit of a vape, I was hooked like that. Once I got back home from my deployment, I caught my son trying to hit my vape. That was it. I had to quit.
Isaiah started vaping to try to deal with stress and quit because of his son. Learn how he and other Californians are rising above big tobacco at undo.org.
Switching to Progressive is a game-winning call. And that reminds us of other game-winning calls in the history of sports.
It was a doubleheader in August and really hot inside the concession stand. So instead of waiting for people to come to me, I figured I'd walk around yelling, "Hot dogs here!" And that's how I became the first hot dog vendor in sports.
Okay, not really a game-winning call, but it was a good call. You can make one too. Switch to Progressive and you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states.
Let's go! You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N143.
844-884.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
The excitement of the game is here, and so are the model year-end savings at Stockton Honda, the best Honda dealer in Northern California. Score big with low payments, more for your trade, and a huge selection. Don't wait. The clock is ticking at StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Based on the results of the study, recognized on June 18, 2025, USA Today's list of California's top car dealers 2025.
A men's health moment with Revive Men's Health.
Low energy, low drive, weight gain, and mood changes can all be signs of low testosterone. Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has treated thousands of men for low T.
Learn more at ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
The Travel Guys, new on KHTK 1140 every Saturday at 11 a.m.
We'll make you a smarter traveler. Tips you can use on the road and at the airport, plus reports from top consumer advocates.
The Travel Guys, 11 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140. Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Whitey Gleason is going to look at the text line and be very confused. There are dogs and flowers.
Not just any dog, though.
There are collies and flowers.
Wow, I just saw the one that 916 Silva just sent us. Is that AI?
I don't know.
Where'd you get a cauliflower GIF?
Yeah, they created that. You guys are really dedicated. 323. Where's the 323, Kyle? The 323 says, I think I missed the contest code word. Can you tell me what it was? Of course I can, 323. It's tickets. It's not cauliflower. It's tickets. Tickets.
323 is East Los Angeles.
Wow. Well, are you a Dodger fan? Now I can't give you the code. I'm just kidding.
They could be an Angel fan.
A who?
Angels. Have you heard of them?
Have you ever met an Angels fan?
I have, actually.
Well, you're from San Diego, so that doesn't count.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's
Angels fan, they had some highs, right? Obviously with Mike Trout and Shohei, but they got to be pretty close. I know, Kyle, you had that list of most... I guess saddest fans or who has suffered the most.
Oh, the suffer index, yeah.
Angel fans got to be up there.
Yeah.
Because they got to watch good baseball, but they also won nothing and they lost Shohei.
Yeah.
4-0.
Angels were pretty high on the baseball list, but they weren't number one, they weren't number two, because it was like the Rockies and the White Sox and a couple other teams were higher. But yeah, they were pretty tough. I had a friend in college who she was just a diehard Angels fan.
That's rough.
Was just super, super into the Angels. And this was still when Ohtani was like good, but not quite MVP level yet. So it was always like, oh, Mike Trout, if they could just get him some help. So I don't even know how she handled Ohtani being great and them still not being good. But I guess that's the one thing that just keeps you coming back is that you had the stars.
I think if you're an Angels fan, you can leave. You can leave now.
See, that's so funny that you would say that because I say the exact same thing about the Raiders. And meanwhile, you're like, I'm always back in on the Raiders.
I never said you couldn't leave the Raiders. I said I didn't leave the Raiders because I didn't know where to go. I don't know. I didn't know where to go.
No, but you're making the point with the Angels like it's been pretty bad. I think you can probably give it up now.
I think there's always teams you can leave. I just chose not to leave the Raiders. I may regret that, and I can still change my mind if I want, but I'm not going to. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this, and I'm true to losing because that's what the Raiders do. Speaking of losing, the Kings lose Keegan Murray for the beginning of the season. Your segue strikes again. That's a 4.
That's a 4.5.
We're back, baby.
Yes.
We're back. Keegan Murray and why that injury could also cost the Kings Keon Ellis. Say that 3 times fast. Here's my breakdown of this. It's pretty simple. If Keon finds himself in the starting lineup and balls out, that price tag might change. We talked to Keith Smith earlier today, and he thinks that initially the Kings felt like it was a pretty safe bet, but at the same time, Keon balls out for these first 20 games, whatever it is, things could change. And when you're dealing with unrestricted free agency, you never know what could happen. So if they decide DeMar DeRozan is going to be our 4, Keon is going to come in and he's going to play the 2, Zach LaVine's going to play the 3, and they play well, or at the very least, Keon plays well, February might come around and the Kings say, hey, Keon, it's time for that extension that we talked about. And Keon could say, the price tag has changed. We've already made it through majority of the season. My agent is telling me that I'm now looking at, instead of a 14 to 16 a year price tag, my agent's telling me I'm looking more like 17 to 19, maybe even 17 to 20. Are you willing to get there? Can you get there? And the Kings might say, no, we cannot get there. So losing Keegan Murray, there's so many ripple effects to this, whether it's Domantas Sabonis and how that looks once the season gets going, if he has any decision that he wants to make, the team as a whole, how does DeMar DeRozan feel? Zach LaVine, I think he's probably just going to stay put for now. He's got that option coming up where he can make a decision. But going back to what Keith said, hey, Kyrie Irving opted out of his deal. He extended. He's getting less money, but I think he took 2 more years, maybe 3 more years.
It's 3 with an option, I think.
There you go. Zach LaVine could do that with the Kings. He could also do that with another team. So there's a lot riding on the beginning of this season. And if Keon Ellis, conversely, if Keon Ellis plays well, somebody out there could say, look, man, we think Keon's 20 a year. He takes a version of a leap because he's playing so much. We're willing to cash him out. And the Kings could lose him all because they lost Keegan Murray. I think that when you looked at the log jam, there was an idea that, hey, it's a bit of a safe bet. Not that this is a good reason for the safe bet, but because there's so many players that do not exactly what Keon does, but so many other guys that are in line to get this, to get these minutes. Can Keon really do enough where somebody would price him out of what the Kings are willing to do? Not likely, but this could change things in a blink of an eye. Probably not likely, but it's possible.
Yeah, I guess it depends which direction they go, right? Because we're kind of in agreement they're kind of going to play it by ear with who starts in place of Keegan Murray. It's probably going to be Keon sometimes. It's probably going to be one of the forwards. It's probably going to be Neat Clifford at some point. Unless one of them just takes the ball and runs with it, which could be Keon, but they just don't have any great options, so they'll kind of do it matchups. If we agree on that, then like if Keon comes in and plays great in the I'm going to sit in the corner and shoot threes on offense, but on defense I'm asked to guard 3s and 4s, all of a sudden it adds a new element to Keon Ellis's game that we never had really seen before, where he's guarding forwards.
He cannot guard 4s.
I don't think so, but neither can DeMar DeRozan.
Well, that's also true.
But we're going to have someone do it. Again, it's going to be matchup dependent, so much of it. So I just think based on what combinations they use, the only way Keon is going to price himself out is either he becomes this juggernaut on offense or he's got positional versatility on defense that we hadn't seen before.
So you think even with the Keegan injury, it's still pretty safe?
It just depends on whether they're going to give him the opportunity. Like if they're going to start him, LaVine, and DeRozan, then I think you'd look at it when Keegan comes back and says, okay, now either DeRozan or LaVine is expendable because Keon has done X, Y, or Z. That's the only way I could really see them pricing him out, because the mid-level exception is, what, $14.9 million?
Yeah.
So he would have to be so far above $14.9 million that one of these teams with cap space were willing to pay him on a free agent contract.
And you know what's funny? I do hope it happens, because I want to see what Keon could be, because sometimes it feels like we are, and I'm a huge Keon fan, but I try to be as objective as possible, and Kings fans love Keon so much. I do think it has kind of moved into the realm of, hey, your lenses are pretty purple. We saw a lot of that come out with the Kuminga stuff, not just the Kuminga stuff, but just in general. And Keon is a really, really good player and an even better story. But I do think there's some Kings fans that you can't move them no matter what. And this would show everyone whether they were in the right or whether the idea of, hey, Keon's a good story, but if you can get something for him, it makes sense, because he's been on this team, and this team has been, I know he's been in the doghouse a little bit, but this team has not made the playoffs. So it's an opportunity for everybody to see, hey, maybe now we can look at Keon a little bit more objectively, or maybe y'all been right the whole time and he does turn into not a superstar, but take another leap.
I think part of the equation too is he going to play so well and outplay his contract so much? Because we talked to Keith, and I can't remember who we had on. Eric Pincus was on and was talking about, like, he's in that 10 to 15 million a year range, the mid-level exception for a lot of these teams. Is he going to outplay that contract so much that you get to February and say, actually, we aren't going to take Atari Eason or a 25-year-old power forward in exchange for Keon, because he's just that important to what we're doing going forward? I find it hard to believe they wouldn't do that, but they haven't made him available now, so why not? And they can't give him an extension until after the deadline, so they'd have to make that call before the trade deadline.
916-339-1140. How you feeling about Keon taking the place of Keegan? Not necessarily as a 4, but in certain spots, along with DeMar DeRozan and some other guys as well. Speaking of Eric Pincus and Bleacher Report, one thing that could ruin every team's season, Bleacher Report has that for every single NBA team. We'll tell you what they said about the Kings when we return on Sactown Sports.
For the latest from Kings training camp,
tune in to Sactown Sports 1140.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I'm a plumber and needed to get work in the door.
So business was going down the drain?
Yeah, I went to Staples. They printed yard signs, business cards, even flyers to leave at supply stores.
But at what cost, man?
Well, I saved $125 on my order, and now I'm booked solid. Boom!
Back at ya. For your business printing, Staples.
That was easy.
Now save up to $125 on custom print orders. Valid in-store and online. Ends 11/1. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-838-6767. That's 800-838-6767.
Sacramento. Buckle up. Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet is dropping one day of insane Milwaukee deals on Saturday, October 18th. Bare tools, batteries, and kits at insanely low prices. All Milwaukee hand tools, tool accessories, and Milwaukee pack-out boxes will be 20% off. Spend $100 and you'll get a lotto ticket for up to $1,000 off your next order. Again, that's one day only. October 18th at Fasteners Inc. Tool Outlet, 6701 Power Inn Road. For more info, visit fastenersinc.net. Fasteners Inc. Better tools, better prices.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet, Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for the Drive Into Fall sales event?
Right now, you can save up to $82.50 off MSRP on one of America's favorite and most loved SUVs, the brand new 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited. It's the perfect combination of space, tech, and power to do whatever you need, from hauling the family around to family vacation.
Yeah, everyone I know that's had a Grand Cherokee says they love it.
It's true. There's something special about the Jeep Grand Cherokee. Cherokee, and now is the perfect time to check it out and save big with Hoblet. But whatever you're looking for, you can find it at Hoblet. Check out our certified pre-owned supercenter with nearly 200 vehicles available and over 50 under $20,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$8,250 total net savings on 2025 Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited after $4,750 factory rebates and $3,500 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 select inventory bonus cash and $500 first responder bonus cash for eligible first responders. 3 of this net savings, simple VIN 352-391. See dealer for details.
Stockton 99 Speedway, Saturday, October 18th. It's championship night. Late models, modified, sprint cars, and the insane trailer racing. Plus a huge fireworks show to light up the sky. Tickets start at just $20. Don't miss the season finale. Stockton99.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sactown Sports.
In the 1 o'clock hour, getting back into some NFL, you have the drama that isn't really drama, but was kind of drama with Brandon Ayuk. So we'll break all that down for you. Also getting back into that parity conversation. Do you trust anybody? Do you even trust the Eagles to beat the Chiefs? Is there anybody that you trust? We'll get into all that.
The only person I trust is Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah. Is he going to be the Eli Manning to Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady?
I mean, he's already 0-1 against him in the playoffs, so probably not.
Probably not. And it would be AFC to AFC, so it wouldn't be in the big one. Big is the what? Big as the Super Bowl.
Mahomes also beat him with a broken ankle, so it's probably not going to happen.
That's enough Mahomes talk for now. We got some NFL coming up in about 15 minutes, as well as Major League Baseball. And, of course, we still have some notes. The Lakers and Giannis, that just makes me sick even saying those words together. So we have that for you. But first, one thing that could ruin every team's season. This is from Bleacher Report. We're going to make you wait a little bit. This is from our guy, Zach Buckley. Kyle, they have this list. Any teams that you're interested in hearing besides the Kings, so I can make the listeners tease it out a little bit?
Could ruin every team's season?
Yeah, one thing that could implode every team's 2025-2026 NBA season.
What do they say for my favorite Denver Nuggets?
For your Denver Nuggets. Leaky defense.
Leaky?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
The Nuggets offense is
like
always...
need an oil change? What's happening?
Yeah, they say the offense is always going to hum. When they did have their title in 2023, they were a respectable 15th in defensive efficiency. They slipped back to 21st this past season. On the depth pieces they added offer no obvious solutions to this issue, and they're talking about Tim Hardaway Jr., Jonas Valanciunas, Bruce Brown. Could this offense be so spectacular that it offsets the defensive deficiencies? Look, you never want to say never when a player of Jokic's caliber is involved, but it's hard to see anyone capturing the crown while saddled by a bottom third unit on either end of the floor. So this is what we're going to do. This is the most obvious thing ever. We're going through all the teams that are supposed to be ahead of the Kings, and then we will get to the Kings. Puzzle pieces, this is for your San Antonio Spurs.
Who can't shoot.
Puzzle pieces, dang it, they didn't say that, but maybe they'll say it now. Puzzle pieces don't align around Wemby. This could be the season in which Victor Wembanyama forces his way into the best player on the planet discussion, and yet that might not have a huge impact on this league's balance of power because this roster hardly caters to his strengths. That's what we're talking about. He might be unstoppable in a properly spaced offense, but in the front court, he'll find little to no shooting help from the likes of Keldon Johnson, Jeremy Sohan, and Luke Cornett. And in the backcourt, it could be a lot of your turn, my turn, attacking from ball-dominant, shaky shooting guards in De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, and number 2 pick, Dylan Harper. There's a bunch of bricks. Just 3 bricks sitting in the tree.
Sounds like 6 bricks.
BRICKING. Just 3 bricks.
Are you sure that's how you spell it? Cauliflower?
I got that one right. A bunch of bricks, okay? Maybe the Spurs, who are stuck in a wholly uncharacteristic 6-year playoff drought, feel they're still in the rebuilding stage of stockpiling talent wherever they can find it. But if Wembanyama is ready to start rubbing elbows with the league's elites, San Antonio might have to quickly think a lot less about individual talent and a lot more about whether that talent meshes with its transcendent star.
All right. Well, what do they say about the defending champions, the Oklahoma City Thunder?
No, I don't care about them.
What?
I don't care about them.
Come on.
I'm looking at all the other teams that the Kings could beat out.
That they could beat out.
That's what I'm saying.
So we're not even caring about the top 5.
No, I don't care about them.
All right. Let's go.
I got the Mavericks on deck.
All right. Let's see.
Dallas Mavericks, unshared rock. With Anthony Davis around for the whole offseason, top pick Cooper Flagg added to the equation, and a rotation that should run deep whenever Kyrie Irving makes it back from ACL recovery, the Mavs will bring an interesting collection of puzzle pieces into this campaign. But will they ever find their rug that ties everything together? D'Angelo Russell can get a little too shot happy. Heard that one before. And honestly, passing isn't the sharpest tool in Irving's arsenal either. Flagg's playmaking should help, but it'd be asking a lot to expect a rookie non-point guard to solve a potential passing problem on a team with championship aspirations. Who got championship aspirations?
Mavericks? I mean, they were in the finals.
Bricks. Who's next? We did Spurs.
How about the team we hate, Memphis?
Oh, I can't wait to read this.
The team we both believe won't be that good.
Memphis Grizzlies, an overburdened Ja Morant. The Grizzlies may not have quite as much win right now pressure after this summer's Desmond Bane blockbuster, but with Ja, Jaren Jackson, and what should be the heart of their primes, the organization's objective is still to win pretty darn soon. So who soaks up all the stats left behind by Desmond Bane? Can newcomers Ty Jerome, I forgot he signed with them, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony.
Yeah, he's not there.
He's not there. And Cedric Coward pick up all the slack, or will Bane's absence force Morant to try hitting another gear? If the answer is the latter, that's a pretty pressing concern, since there are already worries over whether Morant, who's 2 seasons removed from his last All-Star appearance and 3 removed from his only NBA honor, can get his groove back. He's had a hard enough time holding up as it is, 177 games played the past 4 seasons combined, and Memphis right now might be asking more of him than ever. Bums. Next, the Blazers.
Yeah, let's see it.
The Blazers. Yes. Competing timelines. The Blazers, perhaps buoyed by their competitive showing in the second half, sent signals this summer about their desire to take the next step. And maybe that's a welcome development for a fan base that just sat through 4 consecutive losing seasons, but it's hardly a foolproof plan when a big chunk of this roster is still finding its footing. The Blazers have plenty of young players still working to establish their identities, like Scoot Henderson, Shaedon Sharpe, Donovan Clingan, and rookie first-rounder Yang Hansen. Yet they also have a handful of veterans up against a tight competitive window, like Jeremy Grant, Robert Williams III, and Drew Holiday, plus Dame Lillard when he returns. Big picture, it would make sense for Portland to keep prioritizing the development of young talent wherever possible. If that's a plan, though, why bring in Holiday and not ship out Grant and Williams? That's what I'm talking about.
I don't know. Time Lord's deal is going to expire, and he never plays. So I think
you ain't got to worry about him on the court.
Yeah, he's not going to play. They drafted Yang Hansen. They know Time Lord is cooked, which, by the way, we don't talk about that enough, right? He played through like a broken leg, and it just kind of ruined his career.
This other overrated team, before we get to the Kings, and the Minnesota Timberwolves, their prospects aren't ready. The Wolves obviously have a win-now window as they've competed in each of the past 2 Western Conference Finals. For a team in this position, though, they've grown pretty reliant on younger, largely unproven players. With Mike Conley's decline unlikely to slow down during his age 38 season, Minnesota needs Rob Dillingham to solidify the point guard spot, and the wing vacancy created by Nickeil Alexander-Walker's departure in free agency figures to be covered by some combination of Terrence Shannon Jr. and Jalen Clark. All 3 were rookies last season. None saw even 550 minutes of regular season action. If they aren't ready for rotation roles, Minnesota's season could be a top-heavy mess. I keep trying to tell y'all. And last but not least, your Sacramento Kings. Offense can't offset defensive generosity. That's very nicely put. A pretty short write-up. The Kings should be pretty good on offense. Unfortunately, they probably need to dominate that end to compensate for what figures to be some unsightly play at the other. That feels like too tall a task for this team. In last season's second half, after it had added Zach LaVine alongside DeMontis Sabonis and DeRozan, Sacramento was pretty good on offense, 12th in efficiency, and pretty bad on defense, 22nd. The makeup of this roster will make it tricky to find better balance, so the Kings will be constantly trying to win games on the offensive end alone and lacking the firepower to do so. So basically, the defense not going to be good enough. The offense isn't going to be good enough to offset the defense.
Well, I guess the bright side, maybe the Toronto Raptors will have the best offense in the NBA, and the first preseason game was not an ominous sign that Zach Buckley is exactly correct.
Yeah, so
because now we don't even have Keegan. Like they're one full game together in the preseason. They just got smoked by the Raptors on defense, wide open threes. Like I get it's preseason, it's fine, but like the same things that were problems last year. Uncontested threes, back cuts, Brandon Ingram hit 5 3-pointers.
Crazy.
Yeah. He had only done that. He had in his entire career, he'd never done that in 21 minutes or less. So I feel like Buckley kind of hit the nail on the head there, especially now that Keegan, their best defender, is going to be out for the first quarter of the season.
Right. I think to his point, if you're going to be 22nd in defense, you got to be maybe top 5 in offense.
Right. So the Nuggets point he was making, which is like, can their offense overcome the lackluster defense? When the Nuggets won the championship, they were 15th in defensive rating.
And what has their offense, do you think their offense has been top 5 these last couple years?
The Kings or the Nuggets?
The Nuggets.
I'm going to say
definitely top 10.
I'm going to say probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2024, they were 5th. Last year, they were 4th. In offensive rating.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah.
You can stink on defense when that happens, and they don't even stink as bad as the Kings.
Well, even the Beam team, which was at the time the best offensive rating in NBA history, they were bottom 10 in defense. And in that, like to Buckley's point, yeah, they were 25th in defensive rating that year. To Buckley's point, the offense did make up for their defensive lacklusters. But this Sacramento offense is probably not that, as he mentioned. They were above average after the Fox trade last year.
In the 1 o'clock hour, we have more Kings talk for you. We have NBA for you as certain teams might be trying to become a part of the Giannis sweepstakes. Well, you better sign him and his 7 brothers if you're going to do it. Also, very, very confusing Brandon Ayuk drama that was non-drama. We'll give you all the details on that. One more hour. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The deals are on now at the model year-end sales event at Balsam Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Looking to own or lease? Save on year-end models and drive a brand new Accord or Civic. Visit us today at FolsomLakeHonda.com, your one-stop Honda shop.
As a family-owned and operated dealership since 2009, customer service is our #1 priority. Our customers love doing business with us, and you will too.
Go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Your one-stop Honda shop.
Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with primetime football. It's back. Capital Casino is giving away $500 per game in high-hand bonuses for every Sunday, Monday, and Thursday night primetime game. Offering the best food, best service, and the best action with the most variety of games in the region and conveniently located at 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When I was a kid, I remember my dad, a lineman, leaving in the middle of the night. Families were depending on him to get their power back on to keep them safe and warm. Watching him taught me that this work isn't just about wires and circuits. It's about people and the trust they place in us when the lights go out. That's why I started Maverick Electric Heating and Air, to carry on that same promise of showing up, doing it right, and protecting families when they need us most. Visit callamaverick.com.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? Sunpoint Public Adjusters can help. Sunpoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call Sunpoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. Sunpoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Home for Kings Talk and so much more.
Live and vocal.
Allen Stiles on Sactown Sports.
So this came out. And this is from Jovan Buha, who covers the Lakers.
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show. And he said the Lakers can, quote, swoop in on the Giannis Antetokounmpo trade sweepstakes and offer a competitive package. They will have 3 tradable first-round picks and 3 swaps in the summer of 2026. You know what's funny about that is this always comes down to what the Bucks want and them working with Giannis to go somewhere that he wants to go, because there are a lot of teams that will have a competitive package, right? I think the idea is that it's LA. I don't know that Giannis, he's very confusing to me. There's part of me that feels like he'd really want to go to LA. There's part of me that feels like that's the last thing he would want to do, right? I think it's kind of split down the middle. I know he's interested in New York as well, but even New York is different to LA. People enjoy the city of New York, the seasons, things like that. I don't know how much if you don't want to do the thing, you can go to New York and not want to be a media darling, right? You're going to make more money, don't get me wrong. But if you go to LA, I don't know who just likes to, obviously the weather is nice, but who just wants to be in LA and not do the media thing, right? It's kind of part of it. LeBron, Space Jam 2, which I still haven't seen, but I heard it was terrible. Everything that
it's not terrible.
I heard it's pretty bad.
It'll make you laugh.
It won't.
It made me laugh.
You faked it.
No, it was cute. For what it was cute. I liked it.
It won't. Anyway, don't get me started. I don't know that Giannis wants that. I think there's a part of me that thinks that's exactly what he would be into. Just so many confusing reports right now about where his family is and where he is. He's got another brother on the Bucks. The Bucks are just doing that's crazy.
That they're just signing all the brothers?
Just all of them.
Yeah.
All of them.
This isn't even the one that used to be in the league. This is the one that's never been on a team.
Yeah. So they're doing everything they can, and good for them. I mean, why not? But with that being said, LeBron or Giannis going to the Bucks, obviously LeBron would not be there.
At a certain point, though, you do have to draw the line and be like, we can't have all 4.
Yes, you can.
We can't do all the roster spots.
Yes, you can. I guess, you know what? They're just figuring, look, whenever we trade Giannis, y'all are cooked. So you're all getting waived if Giannis doesn't re-sign. So just enjoy it for now, or he stays, and you can stay, because there's no reason for us to keep you on this team.
Is this one he's been in the G League before? I'm trying to see. So he was with the Raptors G League team. Then he was with the Bucks G League team for a bunch of years.
What's his name? Alex?
Alex, yeah. Then he went to play in Montenegro.
Can I ask a question?
Then Greece. Then back to the G League.
Can I ask a question that might make people a little bit spicy? Because I saw this, and I actually don't know the right answer. What the Bucks are doing for Giannis, better, worse, or the same as LeBron and Bronny?
I'm going to say the same, because it seems like, by all accounts, Thanasis and Bronny are kind of the same caliber of player, right? It's not about, like, whether or not they're this player, that player. It's really like how good is the player that we're actually signing, right? Like, Thanasis is probably a G League player. Bronny is probably a G League player. Could make a bunch of money going overseas. Clearly, Alex has made a bunch of money going overseas. He's played in Greece and Montenegro, so clearly could be a 4A kind of guy. But you're kind of if you're moving up someone who's kind of a bum, then I feel like you have more of a conversation. But these guys seem like they're at least decent, like 4A type players.
The biggest difference is that Bronny, it was the draft pick, right? That's what got everybody feeling some type of way. But I'm going to be honest with you. Bronny, he played at USC. I mean, he was a blue chip prospect. He's 20 years old? I don't even know if he's 21 yet. Kyle, this Antetokounmpo thing, nepotism-wise, is way worse than Bronny, in my opinion. It's so blatant. It is so blatant. And you got, which one, Thanasis? Yeah, they really like what they saw from me at Eurobasket. Can we keep it real for 2 seconds? This is way worse to me than First of all, it's only one. It's only Bronny.
You say that, but if Bryce were coming out, LeBron would draft him too.
Well, he's not there yet. And LeBron said he doesn't even know Bryce's timeline. I don't even know how much he's going to play at Arizona. So right now it's 1v2. That's number one. So I would say Bronny drafted. That's different than what they're doing with the brothers, right? So that's a point of nepotism, point to Bronny. Then I would say a point to the Antetokounmpos because there's two of them, okay? I would put another point to the Antetokounmpos because Bronny is only, 2021, and I do think that Bronny is better than has a higher ceiling than Thanasis. I truly believe that. I don't think either of them are ever going to get legitimate minutes, but I think Bronny is better. And I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to say something that I don't even believe myself saying it, but is there some level of, I want to do this? I get it. If I was Giannis, it's not on Giannis, but is there any part of you, if you're the brother, the 24-year-old that they just signed, is there any part of you that, I don't want to say embarrassed, but this is different than you hit the lottery, or let's say you started Google or whatever it is, right? Or you start a famous company. You bring in one brother to be the CTO. You bring in your sister to be the COO, right? To me, that's different because who knows? And they can learn the job and figure it out. I believe so. When you're talking about God-given or whoever you believe in talent, right? And people this is an athletic-based, performance-based job. And I know these are low-level roster spots, don't get me wrong. And maybe Alex Antetokounmpo is better than whatever guy they were going to sign in that spot anyway. But to me, Kyle, this is, if I'm Alex, obviously I wouldn't do it because I'm shameless, and maybe Alex is too. But is there any level of, I want to do this on my own? Like, this is shameless.
He already did it. He was on the Bucks G League team. He spent last year in Montenegro and Greece, apparently, and now he's coming back.
This is shameless.
Well, okay.
Have some shame.
Why are you pretending that LeBron's is not also? Like, you're making
LeBron, and maybe it's an international versus US thing. I saw Bronny at USC. I saw Bronny prior to that. Bronny has had some flashes. I think Bronny is To me, the only argument for Bronny is that he was drafted. If he got signed, then it wouldn't even be a conversation. The only argument that it's worse or even the same is that it evens out because they wasted a draft spot on him. But I think Bronny, I don't know. Like I said, he's younger. I just think he's got a little bit. You can make a better argument for Bronny than these dudes, man.
Sure, I get that. Also, do we also put a check in LeBron's corner for Shameless for getting his podcast co-host the head coaching job with no experience?
That's different. And
yes. He got his podcast co-host the head coach of the Lakers with no coaching
I'm not talking about
experience.
that right now. But yeah, I agree with you. That was crazy.
Yeah, it's shameless.
But, yeah, LeBron is shameless.
But why are you saying that this is worse somehow?
I'm not including the
Bronny thing.
Yeah, the Bronny thing. It's worse because there's two of them. There's two.
Which, by the way, I looked up the fourth brother. How funny is it?
How bad do you have to be?
No, it's different. How funny is it that Giannis is getting his whole family employed? This guy was in the NBA and somehow never played for the Bucks. Like, how did that happen?
He must be. How much older is he than Giannis? Didn't have the pull yet.
Giannis. So in 2018-19, he was drafted by the Mavericks. The Mavericks also thought they were going to get Giannis back then, but was drafted by the Mavericks. Spent one season between their G League team and the NBA. Went to the Lakers. Won a championship with the Lakers in the bubble. Then was on the Bulls G League team, and then he's gone to play in Europe. By the way, guess who he plays for now? Our favorite Greek team.
Oh, I know exactly who you're
Olympiacos.
Olympiacos.
Yes.
The only team. They win every year because they just scrimmage.
No, it's them versus Panathinaikos.
Oh, that's right.
Panathinaikos, which is the team that this guy used to play for. So he's gone from Panathinaikos to Olympiacos.
And Vezenkov's on one of these teams.
Yeah, he's on Panathinaikos, I think.
And that has nothing to do with Trey Lyles in Spain.
No, that's Real Madrid. The basketball team, not the soccer team. That's another funny story. My roommate, who knows basketball but isn't like deep in the weeds like we are, thought Trey Lyles was going to switch sports to go play soccer. I was like, no.
At 30 whatever years old.
His basketball career is over. He's going to go play soccer for Real Madrid. Anyways, no, nothing to do with that.
916-339-1140. Which nepotism is worse? Giannis and his crew or Bronny?
No, it's the same.
It's not the same.
They're doing the exact same thing.
So Giannis could get all four brothers, and it would be Kyle. I'm talking quantity at this point.
It's a two-way contract for Alex. I mean,
but isn't there a level? Isn't there a level of I want to do this on my own? Because here's the thing.
No.
Here's my argument. Giannis has more money than higher powers, right?
Yeah.
So if you're Alex, I don't need if I need my brother to help me out at some point. He can help me out. I'm not going, and I'm not saying Alex did this, but I'm not taking some boo-boo deal from the Bucks for all of us to cosplay like the Bucks are actually interested in me. That's dang near an insult to me. I'd rather do it on my own. If I'm in a pinch and I need Giannis to give me $20K, then you can give me $20K because I know you got it. You know, It's not tripping if you got it. But I would rather ask Giannis for $50K to start a startup and do a different podcast than Thanasis, who nobody watches that show. I'd rather do that.
Thanalysis?
Oh, my goodness. I'd rather do that than than accept a two-way roster spot with my other brother who everybody knows where you got to walk around that. You're walking around the building and everybody knows that you're not supposed to be here.
I will say, though, he was on the G League team for 2 years. So it's not like,
Was Giannis on the team?
Yeah, with the Bucks. But
that's even worse. We've already done this before.
He's just going back to the G League team, but they're going to do... Again, this is the LeBron playing with Bronny the first game of the season thing. They're going to do the thing where all three brothers play together.
Oh, Lord, no. They can't. No, they can't.
It's going to be the first time in the history of the sport.
You know the Nasses will be the one to score.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
All right, let's see. We haven't done this in a while, but every time we bring up Thanasis, let's see who he's got on the show. Because it used to be he was just interviewing like Brewers players. So let's see. Well, he took a 2-month break, so his second most recent video is "We're back." Thanasis Antetokounmpo returns to the Bucks NBA Media Day.
916 says,
and then he interviewed AJ Green at Media Day.
Bronny, Lakers wasted a draft pick. Nobody else would have drafted that dude. Are we sure? Nobody would have drafted Bronny? Are we sure?
He was the 58th pick, so no one was going to pick him. He was the third to last pick in the second round.
Are we sure? Because I don't know.
Yeah, his entire video is just him interviewing Brewers players. Sal Frelick interview, Pat Murphy interview.
No.
President of the Bucks interview.
Don't get me started, man. I'm looking here and I hear it, but I think that's the argument though. If you're arguing it's such a low spot that nobody would have picked him, that's why to me, Bronny getting drafted is not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal.
But then signing the other brother is not that big of a deal.
I disagree.
I don't know why you're so offended because
I'm offended. I am offended.
I don't know why Thanasis makes you offended, but Bronny somehow is like, Bronny, he's an NBA player. He earned it. He earned his spot.
I mean, we're talking about he was the fourth to last pick.
But he was the only person drafted in the last 20 picks that got a fully guaranteed NBA contract.
Now, that is a good argument.
Yes.
That's a good argument.
LeBron got him a job. He didn't have to do the two-way thing.
And remember, they told him, they said, we ain't going to, where the heck is their
South Bay. Yeah.
Then he had to go.
Yeah, then he had to go. Of course he had to go. Because he's not an NBA player. But LeBron got him a spot on the team with a fully guaranteed contract.
But here's the argument: he's not an NBA player yet. We know that
Alex
and Thanasis. We know that they're not.
I will say though, Thanasis tore his knee last year, so that's why he wasn't on the team.
Okay,
but Alex clearly is a 4A guy. He spent 4 years in the G League. He just went to go play for a couple Greek teams. He's clearly a 4A guy. And I'm not saying that it's not, offensive that Giannis is giving him a 2-way contract. I'm saying
Giannis is literally handing it to him.
Yeah, I'm saying it as he's leaving, too.
I need Pablo Torre finds out the text that Giannis sent to the GM, hey, can you sign my brother? Because that's what this was.
But it's not even a guaranteed deal. That's the thing that is.
No, he'll be back. He'll be back. It's like a fly. When you think you got the fly in the house, and then you sit down and it lands on the TV. That's the Antetokounmpo's in the Bucks in the Bucks facility.
This is just so they can do the thing where they're all going to play on the court at the same time, and they're all going to do the jersey swap, and it's going to be like the first time three brothers ever play in the same game for the same team. That's the whole point of doing this.
Yeah.
Alex might even get cut.
We will not be watching, okay? And I'm talking about me. I don't know about y'all, but I will not be watching. All right. Enough with this Giannis and his 7 brothers madness. Hey, great story, by the way. Great story, Giannis and his brothers. We're dragging out the story a little bit. It's a great story, though.
You want to guess how many subscribers on the Thanalysis pod?
Cannot be a lot.
I mean, it's more than I would have guessed.
I don't know.
It's just a bunch of people in Milwaukee. It's 32,000.
They ain't listening.
With a 37-minute interview with MLB star Sal Frelick.
Hey, at least he's shout out baseball, at least he's doing that.
Yeah, the only thing I see here is interviews with Brewers. That seems to kind of be his thing.
Yeah, he's got the hook up there. All right, let's get to this drama that wasn't really drama. This all happened from Jennifer Lee Chan of NBC Sports Bay Area, who obviously she's been covering the Niners for a very long time, but I got to be honest, how she handled this, from what I've seen, leaving some question marks. So this is how it started. At about, this was on the 14th, yesterday. And 49ers on NBC Sports says, Brandon Ayuk once again deleted all evidence of the 49ers from his Instagram account and has unfollowed the team. Says via Jennifer Lee Chan, okay? So everybody freaked out Because as we know, Brandon Ayuk did this before during the contract negotiations. Let us not forget, as the Kuminga thing, I don't know what was messier, Kuminga or Brandon Ayuk. That's actually a really good, I'm going to hit up my Bay Area friends. You guys need a segment? I would do that one. They've probably done it plenty of times. But Brandon Ayuk was messy, and it dragged and dragged and dragged. So everybody believed this, myself included. This is why Kendrick Bourne is making people look differently at this stuff, because who needs to deal with this drama that he wasn't around the facility, all this stuff. And the only reason I'm paraphrasing is because that article got changed a little bit. So Brad from SF Niners, who is has a pretty good pulse on all things Niners, specifically Brandon Ayuk, Brad says this report is false. And he stood on business, okay? Brad says Brandon Ayuk never refollowed the 49ers to unfollow them. His Instagram has looked the same for months, and he has a link to his profile page directly pointing back to the 49ers. Brad goes on to say, what a random thing to spin while being completely wrong on every point made about him. So Brad says that. After Brad says that, I'm trying to find the initial report, because Jennifer Lee Chan basically takes what Brad says, and Brad says, hey, they deleted Jennifer Lee Chan, just to kind of say, yeah, I got y'all. Brad says they deleted that report, right? So Brad says they deleted the report about the Instagram. Jennifer Lee Chan quote tweets Brad and says, we did not delete it, we reworked it. So Brad says MEC has deleted the Brandon Ayuk social media story. Jennifer says, thank you for the heads up. I admit I was incorrect about the timeline. It was adjusted, not deleted. Now, I looked really hard, Kyle. I looked really hard. So I could barely find the new report. Let's talk about what it initially said. So what it initially said, or the name of the title was Brandon Ayuk's return to the 49ers appears murky after star ... And then it bleeps out, then it blurs out. I can't see the rest. Now the title reads, Brandon Ayuk's return to the field for 49ers still uncertain per Kyle Shanahan. She changed the whole thing. And she says, I did not delete it. What did she say? I adjusted it, whatever it is. And yeah, she said it was adjusted, not deleted. I've had Jennifer Lee Chan on the show. I appreciate her, does great work. I don't know, Kyle. Kind of feels like she could have just wore it a little bit more, because I could not find, I'm thinking, where is this article? And it was completely reworked.
I did not know any of this until just now. Feels like she made a whoopsies.
Yeah, and completely unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right?
I think it was just noticing Brandon Ayuk having no Niners things on his social media, but it was just never re-established after last year is kind of the update.
Somebody says, hey, Jennifer, you also said Brandon Ayuk hadn't been seen for a week. I'm pretty sure Lynch said he was watching him running last week while doing a radio spot. And Jennifer says, he has not been out there during the open portion of practice when media is able to watch. John Lynch obviously has access to the entire practice. And now people are saying, well, that's not how you wrote it initially, right? So very, very messy stuff. And Niner fans, and I can't believe I'm defending Niner fans here, they got enough going on, man. Like, to post that on what's today, Tuesday, to post that on a Monday after, and I get it, journalism, this is what we talked about with Mona Shelburne and the Westbrook article, journalism, but to post that the Monday after losing Fred Warner and to be wrong?
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
To make the whoopsies on that is pretty tough. But this is where I'm kind of stuck on the back and forth of it. Because, like, okay, Brandon Ayuk, there's no Brandon Ayuk drama going on. So then why was the impetus just seeing Brandon Ayuk's, what was the impetus to start? Because if I kind of see the work being done, I feel like I'm able to be more sympathetic, but I just don't know the details of like, okay, how did we get to that conclusion?
Right.
Like, if it's like a math problem where it's like you have to show your work while you're answering it. So even if you come up with the wrong answer, if you show your work, you can get points for it. I kind of just want to know how we got to the point of finding Brandon Ayuk not having any social media posts of the Niners and not following them. Because if it was that before, you should probably check that before making the story.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, like I said, nobody is perfect, but it was just fascinating to me because it's an unnecessary situation to be in. And I mean, I just think, to be honest, it's just kudos to Brad for standing on business to say to somebody specifically with NBC Sports Bay Area, this is wrong, this is false, and to be right about it. It was kudos to him.
Yeah.
Kudos to him.
And to your point, man, it's already hard enough being a Niner fan trying to follow everything that happens with this bizarre team. It's just one more thing that I give Brad credit for it, because Brad, again, doesn't have the journalism credentials that an NBC Sports California offers. But I guess weird situation?
Very weird.
We could ask Brandon Ayuk about this when we see him in a week or whatever it was.
I can already hear what he's going to say, and you might as well save your breath.
Okay.
To whoever that reporter is that's going to ask that question, don't waste the question on it. So, yeah, that was some random drama, non-drama coming out. There was a little bit of actual drama with one Juwan Jennings, and we will discuss what happened there on the other side. We also talk about, are the Chiefs cheating? Kyle weighs in. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings are geared up for the new season. Training camp competition is fierce.
He's got the two-pointer. Download the Sactown Sports app to keep you informed everywhere you go.
One place, all your Sacramento Kings news. Sactown Sports 1140.
This Sactown Sports 49ers report is brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, located beside the Vacaville outlets. The 49ers lose in Tampa Bay on Sunday, 30-19, but far worse for San Francisco. They lose their all-pro linebacker Fred Warner for the season with a devastating broken and dislocated right ankle. San Francisco comes home to take on Atlanta for Sunday Night Football. You can catch all the action beginning at 4 o'clock right here on Sactown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic. They could mean your home is sinking. Whether it's drywall cracks, exterior cracks, or sticking doors or windows, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys, and they're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to stabilize your foundation.
Groundworks, official foundation repair company of Cal Athletics.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hey man, gaining weight, dragging throughout the day, losing your drive? It could be your testosterone. The team at Revive Men's Health Sacramento gets men back on track with the energy and drive they've been missing. Meet Tyler, Revive Men's Health Director of Operations, and witness to hundreds of success stories.
I've seen guys come in worn out, discouraged, and just not themselves. A few months into treatment, they're standing taller, speaking with more confidence. It's like watching someone come back to life, like a light switch gets turned back on. When a spouse says, "Thank you, I really have my partner back, better than before," that's the moment it all clicks for me, and that's why I do what I do.
Since 2011, Revive Men's Health has helped more than 120,000 men regain their energy and drive. Start your story today with an in-clinic visit or a secure video appointment. Call 916-619-3000 now to book your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation. That's 916-619-3000. Or schedule anytime at revivemenshealth.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
The text line has been cracking me up all day long. 916 says, "Dang, what did Antetokounmpo family ever do to Allen to warrant such beef?" It's not beef.
You just hate Thanasis.
It's not beef. It's just have some shame is all. Just have some shame. That's all. Just a little. Just a wee bit.
I don't understand why you're like, Bronny, it's fine.
You get one.
So
if it was Bryce, I would say the same thing.
So you're fine with so which one are you more mad at? Are you mad at Thanasis or Alex?
Alex.
So you're fine with Thanasis.
I have to be.
By the standards you've created.
Yes, and someone said, Steph Curry's brother Seth is playing on the Warriors this year. Seth got one of the best three-point percentages in the league. Don't give me that. He's been around forever. Do not compare Seth to Bronny or one of the Antetokounmpos. Do not do that.
I mean, he'd be going to play in Greece right now if it weren't for him.
We don't know that.
I feel pretty confident he would be.
We don't know that. Do not do that, okay?
Also, he shot 32% on the Hornets from 3.
It's the Hornets. It's a bad organization. He just wanted to be home with his dad, who calls the games.
Yeah, okay, so he's a double Nepo.
No, he's not.
So he's a Nepo with the Hornets, and he's a Nepo going to the Warriors.
It's different. It's Steph.
Steph also got his brother-in-law a ring.
Damian Lee was an NBA player. These guys are not NBA players.
What do you mean? Thanasis has been in the league for a decade.
He's been somewhere.
He's
been somewhere.
Thanasis has been technically in the league for a decade.
Give me a break, man. Give me a break.
Yeah, look, Thanasis is going into, let me see here. He played for the Knicks. Thanasis is going into his 8th season in the NBA.
I mean, if you want to, look, Kyle, I don't know why. Look, I don't have a problem with Thanasis. I don't have a problem with the Antetokounmpos. It's just, hey, if we're good, if they're good with it, fine. Fair enough to me.
By the way, guess where Thanasis was picked? Ahead of Bronny. 51st overall.
Oh, my God. To who?
To the New York Knicks.
Oh, they must have been trying to. That was one of the stints where, again, because Giannis has been doing this forever.
No, Giannis was trash back then. This is back when Giannis was like 20 years old and running to the stadium because he didn't have any money for a car.
They knew. All right, there's more. There's actual Niners drama. Okay, this is from Cam Inman, and then I have a follow up from from Kyle Shanahan last night. So this was during the game, Kyle. Shanahan again yelling at Jennings, who is standing behind him. This is on the sidelines. Jennings says something back. Kyle shoots a look at him. Staff intervenes. Kyle trying to call plays in frantic 2-minute drill. 49ers have ball at the Tampa Bay 24 with 11 seconds left in the half. Kyle and Jennings still going at it. Kyle covers his mouth with play card while Shanahan's security detail Mike Anderson keeps Jennings away. Meanwhile, Eddie Pinheiro makes his third field goal but appears to get hurt on hit. Bucks up 20-16. So Kyle Shanahan was asked about this, and this was his response. Juwan's a very emotional player. I think that is one of the things that makes him great. So anytime we have a tough loss like that he is banged up and playing through a lot of stuff, I don't think he's in the best mood, especially after a loss like that. But Juwan is good. Juwan battled completely to come play in that game. I know he'll battle again to do it this week. I got a lot of love for Juwan. I just hope he can get healthier so he can get back out there and be more consistent for us. Wow, that end. Hey, look, if I just hope he can actually help the team.
Yeah, look, so when you heard that quote, it reminded me of another quote just in my head that I'm going to read you. I love his passion, man. We need more of that. He knows when to back off the pedal and when to push it too. He plays with emotion, and sometimes I have to be the policeman. Very similar coding to what Kyle Shanahan just said about Juwan Jennings. That was Andy Reid talking about Travis Kelce pushing him. This is just the thing that all these coaches have to say every time it happens.
Yeah, I think the difference here now, and Chase Sr., a friend of the show from Chat Sports, says the Giants, who lost Malik Neighbors, and now the Giants have decided, no, we're good now. We are actually going to be good now. The Giants are reportedly interested in Juwan Jennings. Malik Neighbors is out for the season. The Giants want to support rookie QB Jackson Dart by getting him some help at wide receiver. Jennings is unhappy with his contract and got into a sideline argument with Kyle Shanahan on Sunday. The problem is, I would assume, based on the timing of this, five bruised ribs and a stub toe and a high ankle sprain, low ankle sprain. Like I said, he's not going to cost the same, but go get the dude from across the street. Just go get Garrett Wilson.
I mean, Garrett Wilson's pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Like, he just got a contract.
I know, but a lot of if you really want to make that work, you got Scattaboo, you got Malik Neighbors, and then you would have Garrett Wilson. I mean, maybe it doesn't have to be Garrett Wilson, but why would I deal with Juwan Jennings and his broken ribs and iffy attitude? Why would I do that?
The other funny thing about the Juwan Jennings of it all is, like, okay, you can make the argument the Niners are competing, all that stuff. Jacoby Myers also requested a trade and wants a contract, and the Raiders are boo-boo. So if you can't get
and his ribs aren't cracked, I don't think.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
So, like, if you don't want Juwan Jennings, Jacoby Myers is the same thing on a bad team.
Yeah, I don't know why, if you're the Giants again, and he said that stuff, I don't think it's to save himself from getting traded. I don't think he was thinking like that, but that might be the case, because I don't know why the Giants would trade for Juwan Jennings. There's too many other wide receivers on teams that are headed towards nowhere.
Yeah, Schefter came out with that list of, like, trade candidates over the weekend, which the funniest one was Mark Andrews.
Yeah. There were no wide receivers on that list, I don't think.
The one that I saw that I think everyone keeps mentioning is Chris Olave.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who has a $15 million team option next year and then is a free agent. So, like, if you're Buffalo, the Giants, one of those teams you're mentioning, Olave is probably your best bet.
I also don't know if he's a number one. Like, who's better, Jacoby Myers or Chris Olave?
I think Chris Olave has a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
But that's just because he's a former first-round pick, and he grew up 15 minutes away from where I did. Some of my friends played against him in high school, and our team was not good, so he kind of cooked against us.
Jacoby Myers is 28, and Chris Olave is 25, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's a big deal for a wide receiver.
Chris Olave also, he was a 1,000-yard receiver as a rookie.
He got to stay on the field, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's why Chris Olave is available, is that and the terrible quarterbacks that he's had over his career.
Yeah, something about the Saints and their wide receivers. It turns out to be kind of tough for them to stay. Kyle, by the way, did not get to talk to you yesterday about this. Are you ready to spin the block and give me my just due on Spencer Rattler? He looks good, man.
He's better than he was.
You know they're doing the Brock Purdy thing with him?
What does that mean?
Everyone's saying if he was a first rounder, they would be.
Shut up.
Yes,
no.
I saw. And everyone is talking about it.
Not 0-10 Spencer Rattler.
He's not 0-10 anymore. Put some respect on his name.
2-10.
Put some respect on his name.
Also, this is weird football season. He beat the Giants, who then beat the Eagles.
Yeah.
Just beat the brakes off him. Also, Chris Olave, just looking up here, 2,000-yard seasons already in his career.
Okay.
If I'm Buffalo, last year they tried to get Amari Cooper.
Oh my! Did he catch a pass with Buffalo?
He had one touchdown. It was not in the playoffs, but I remember him catching one touchdown.
Yeah.
But anyways. That's the guy you should try and go get is Olave or Shaheed or one of those guys because with all due respect to soon-to-be Pro Bowl quarterback Spencer Rattler, according to Allen Stiles,
okay.
I do think the Saints are probably cooked.
You got to build around him. You got to give him the pieces. And Alvin Kamara won't leave.
Yeah,
so you got to find a way.
Alvin Kamara doesn't want to leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Alvin Kamara, fine. Keep him around.
Okay.
What else you got to do? Go get. Don't they have? What's his name? Jamal Williams. Is he still there?
I don't think so.
Kendre Miller, I know, is their backup. I'm just saying, what better option do you have? They're the team that should have drafted Genty because they have a great offensive line. The Raiders drafted Genty with a garbage offensive line.
Kyle, what do you have to say to this? Research done by University of Texas El Paso presents evidence that the Chiefs have benefited from slanted officiating from 2015 to 2023, a time that coincided with their rise as one of the NFL's most marketable franchises. What do you have to say for yourself?
Yeah, probably true. But the one that I think is funny is starting it in 2015 because it's like, what, you're giving Alex Smith beneficiary calls? What are we doing here?
Yeah.
Like, Mahomes didn't get there till like 3 years after that. I don't know what we're doing with that timeline of correlation there. Yeah. I was joking on Sunday. I was like, no, 0 penalties called on the Chiefs and phantom roughing the passer calls on Mahomes. Like the checks finally cleared for Kansas City.
Well,
felt like
Aiden Hutchinson, he earned that one. Not that one.
No, that one, he probably shouldn't have got it.
Here it is. Here's some of the article. Our findings suggest that when the league's financial health is at stake, rule enforcement may subtly shift to protect market appeal, said Spencer Barnes, PhD. These guys better they better protect themselves talking like this, assistant professor of finance in UTEP's College of Business. The fact that postseason penalties consistently favored one franchise while similar dynasties showed no such pattern points to the powerful role of financial incentives in shaping supposedly neutral decisions.
What is this UTEP?
The studies show that during the playoffs, which the research team identified as the NFL's most commercially valuable period, penalties against opposing defenses of the Chiefs' offense were significantly more likely to result in first downs, cover more yardage, and fall into subjective categories such as roughing the passer or pass interference. Importantly, these effects were absent from the Tom Brady, the real GOAT, Tom Brady era New England Patriots and other recent Super Bowl contenders, suggesting the phenomenon is unique to Kansas City's emergence as a television ratings powerhouse, the study found. Wow. So look at that, Kyle.
I mean, what does UTEP know about football?
No, they know a lot. That's Texas.
UTEP is 1-5 this year, okay? What do they know
That's
about
Texas.
football?
So there you have it. The Chiefs are cheaters, and UTEP just proved it. Whitey Gleason and Matt George join me to close out the show. Don't move a muscle. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.
Member Week is here at Lowe's. That means it's time for MyLowe's Rewards members to save big with up to 40% off hundreds of items like appliances, tools, home essentials, and more. Plus, get free standard shipping. Shop these exclusive member-only savings now through October 15th. Not a rewards member? Join for free today. Free standard shipping not available in Alaska and Hawaii. Exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu!
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
More fiber and laxatives, eh? Who are you? I'm future you. Future me? Constipation with belly pain still coming back? Our doctor figured it out. It's irritable bowel syndrome with constipation, or IBS-C, and Linzess could help you get ahead of it.
Linzess linaclotide is a prescription medicine that treats IBS-C in adults. It's not a laxative. It's a once-daily pill that helps you get ahead of your symptoms. It's proven to help you have more frequent and complete bowel movements and helps relieve overall abdominal symptoms, belly pain, discomfort, and bloating. These symptoms were studied in combination, not individually. Do not give Linzess to children less than 2. It may harm them. Do not take Linzess if you have a bowel blockage. Get immediate help if you develop unusual or severe stomach pain, especially with bloody or black stools. The most common side effect is diarrhea, sometimes severe. If it's severe, stop taking Linzess and call your doctor right away. Other side effects include gas, stomach area pain, and swelling. Talk to your doctor and say yes to Linzess. Learn more at linzess.com or call 1-800-LINZESS.
Listen to the 49ers Red Zone Report daily, brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza, pizza the way it ought to be.
Sinners and Saints is back at the venue at Thunder Valley, Saturday, October 25th.
Don't miss the Michael Jackson tribute concert, the $5,000 costume contest, and more. Don't have FOMO checking your social media, seeing your friends posted from the party.
Get your tickets now at ThunderValleyResort.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sactown Sports.
Joined by Whitey Gleason and Matt George. Fellas, how you doing?
Good. And I know we want to talk to Matt, and it's his last day here with us this week anyway. So I know he's the focal point, and we're excited to have him on today. But I just got to ask you about something. I know Dodger fans are coming after you.
Yeah.
Angel fans should be coming after you. If
Why?
I'm an Angel fan, I'm really coming after you. Because you said today, you're a Giants fan, right? And you said, Angels have never won anything.
Oh, yeah,
Hello?
they did win that World Series.
Yes, and you were 12 years old at the time, so don't tell me,
No, I remember
young,
Barry,
Whitey.
Dusty, that decision, with the relief pitcher and
taking out Russ Ortiz.
Yeah, and Barry should have had one.
Yeah.
Should have had one. Yeah,
for you to
And
say
then
that.
did they play baseball after that? Did they keep playing baseball, the Angels?
They got Vlad Guerrero, and then I don't think anything after that.
That's not the point. The point is they have done something.
That's right. You're right.
And you should know that all too well.
That's true. I remember. I thought the Giants had it.
Alan,
I thought the Giants had
I will back to back with you on that hill. We'll fight them all off because the Angels are the biggest example of wasting talent.
Yeah.
On the planet, from Trout to Pujols
Yeah.
to everything in between to not being able to build a decent pitching staff for 2 decades.
Mm-hmm.
Angels don't deserve any love.
But hear me out, though. And I don't know why the Angels got astray. It was a random texter from SoCal. But the reality is, I've always said the Angels did try.
Sure.
Right? They just got everything wrong. Anthony Rendon hates baseball.
Right.
And they gave him a ton of money, and they gave Pujols a ton of money.
Also, Pujols was stealing money from
They did try. It just, bad luck? I don't know.
I got to tell you, last winter, whatever it was, I was opening cards, and I got an Anthony Rendon piece of memorabilia, game used. And I thought, either this is really rare or it's fake.
Yeah.
Because he really didn't.
No, he did not. He was not trying to be on the field. And I would find random threads of just Angels fans just making fun of the idea that he just hated playing baseball.
Right.
But he had no choice because it was his job.
You know where the idea for the beam came from, right? The halo will shine.
The halo?
Yeah.
But we don't know if that's where the idea came from.
Don't give them that credit.
We don't know if that's where the idea
I believe
came
that.
from.
I think I can find that for you.
That is the story.
Yeah, that's documented.
I read it on ABC 10.
I've never seen the Halo.
Well, you read it on ABC 10. We were wrong.
Yeah, I've never even
I
seen
hereby
the Halo.
declare we were wrong.
I've never even seen it. Before we get into some...
And just like the Angels, it's going to shine like 35 times this year.
Oh, Lord. Before we get into some Kings talk, just real quick on the NFL and
National Football League?
Yeah, the doubleheader yesterday.
Loved it.
The Bills, I've been on the Bills all day because they keep trying to do this cute. We don't need it. Well, Keon Coleman, I don't know if he's a bust right now. That doesn't mean he will forever be second-round pick. The Bills don't have a number one, and they're trying to do this cute. We have Josh Allen. Patrick Mahomes doesn't have a number one, even though he does now with Rashee Rice, but we don't need a number one either. And they do, right? Yeah. And they do, and they have refused to get a number one. Dalton Kincaid might be their best receiver, and it hasn't worked out. The Falcons looked great yesterday. And I say all this to say, as much as it feels like there's parity in the NFL this season, it's going to be the Chiefs in the Super Bowl again, isn't it?
God, I hope not. Please.
I don't know who in the AFC.
If everybody's pretty good, does that mean nobody is actually very good?
Yes, and in that situation, I'm going to give the benefit of the doubt to the team that's always in the Super Bowl, which is the Chiefs. And it's crazy. The Lamar thing, I don't know what would have happened. The Lamar thing, obviously, Joe Burrow going down. And I picked the Bills to start the season, but their defense isn't very good, and their offense is not good enough. And James Cook's been balling for me in fantasy, but I just don't see anybody. Last season, I felt way more confident in someone beating the last two seasons, actually, and nobody did. So maybe it'll reverse, and somebody might beat the Chiefs, but I don't see it, Matt.
This is the year, though, where the Bills are looking around and going, everybody is chaotic. Nobody is standing out. So this is the year we have to go for it. So I think the circumstance plus the first now 6 weeks of context, I'm saying, okay, now I know I have to go and get a number one option. So I'm looking at the Bills to be super aggressive in the trade market before the actual trade deadline itself, and we can kind of judge it on that. I thought Josh Allen, too. He's such a rhythm and confidence quarterback, and you could see with that hand bothering him a little bit, he looks a little flustered. And then he was really frustrated. This is the first time I've seen him that frustrated in a post-game press conference setting because he's normally such like a bright, goofy personality. It's like you can tell he knows that opportunity is slipping away a little bit, but it's still early. I'm not giving up.
He wasn't rookie Sasaki rattled, but he was a little rattled.
No, and why couldn't that Sasaki show up against my Phillies? I mean, he was Mariano against the Phillies. I mean, goodness gracious.
He was sweating like a buta, which is Japanese for pig. And he just looked like he was hyperventilating out there. You know, he's throwing 3 pitches. He's like, you better go get that guy, Doc.
Yeah, and they did. And thanks for reminding me, Whitey, the Dodgers still won. With all that being said, the Dodgers still won. Where are you at?
Take one for the team, bro.
I don't think he tried. I just think it's a reaction.
That's where you're going, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to ask you, but I just think it's a reaction.
No, it is, especially, and I heard you talked about it, especially when it's the feet.
That's what I'm saying.
There's so many little bones in there.
Yes.
You just can't help but.
Right.
Yeah. And he knew it right away. It's like, I should have let that hit me, but you just can't.
Waist up, or I even say thighs up, you have a little bit more time. He had 2 strikes on him, which I thought was very important, but everybody from their couch, you got to take that. Look, man.
If he takes it on the ankle bone and then he misses the rest of the series, what is he really?
It was a sweeper. It was 85 miles per hour, but my whole point was it's easier said than done. It's much easier said than done, and I hate to throw it out there. If you haven't seen 95 before, then I don't really know.
Allen played baseball.
I don't really know where you fall into this conversation. Okay.
Speaking of which, Whitey, I need some help real quick with something we talked about earlier from an unbiased fan.
Sure.
Who would you say is a better postseason pitcher, Madison Bumgarner or Blake Snell?
Madison Bumgarner.
Thank you.
Okay.
Let's not waste.
He's not as skilled, but he's one of those old school guys where, like Jack Morris and Bob Gibson and those guys, where he just, all right, we need to win this game. I'm going to find a way to do it.
Yes, not rocking and go.
I mean, they've got the same record. Both have a save.
He gave his answer, Kyle.
There's only one stat that matters.
That's right.
Yeah, well, Snell would have had one if they hadn't taken him out.
Nah.
Maybe.
Well, I guess we'll never know.
Yeah.
What we also...
If you take Madison Bumgarner out, he would have punched in the face.
Yeah, that's also true. What we also don't know is how things are going to end this season, or even start, Matt, for the Kings. We had Keith Smith on from Spot Track. Outstanding conversation, and a couple different nuggets that we had to take from it. The most important nugget I took away, and there were a lot with Keegan Murray and Domantas Sabonis, I found this fascinating because when Kyrie opted out and extended, right, lower AAV, people said that could be something that the Kings look to do with Zach LaVine. The way Keith said it, he brought up not only could Zach LaVine do that with the Kings, if somebody were interested, let's say he's having another 50-40, he wasn't 90, but 50-40-90 season. Let's say he's having another great season. He's been on a tear to start the preseason. The Kings aren't really going anywhere, and somebody's interested. I said the Hawks, right? Who you might just need a little bit more shooting. Keith said there's a world where they trade for him, and then he opts out and reworks it with a team like that, and you kind of go from there. That's not something I had really thought about before. I don't know how likely it is, but Keith said he basically gave a way out for all of these guys, and Zach LaVine's kind of been that anchor, if you will, because of that contract. But Keith said that's an option that if a team needs offense and he's playing like that again, you could see. It just,
for me, it feels like a tremendous amount of wishful thinking from the Kings' standpoint of being able to move on from him and get anything of value in return, number one. Like it's hard to move on from Zach LaVine or Domantas Sabonis at this point in any conversation that isn't just salary dump.
Yeah.
So and you have to remember the context. While this is not Scott Perry's fault, ownership owns the fact that you traded De'Aaron Fox for Zach LaVine. So no matter what you do with LaVine, it carries the context of you traded De'Aaron Fox, your franchise player, for this.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that into account. If I'm Zach LaVine, though, granted, knock on wood, he's done a phenomenal job over the last year and some change of staying healthy. And that's to the point where I don't think it should be as much of a narrative or conversation around him as it is. But if I'm Zach LaVine, opting out of a $50 million, almost $50 million payday based off of everything I've been through in my NBA career, knowing full well after that I'm probably like a $30 million per year player, I don't know if Zach LaVine, if any contract situation with the Hawks or anybody is going to be sweet enough for that, because someone's going to give him a deal when this contract is up, and I don't think a restructured contract for a better team would be that much more than what he's going to get on the open market.
Right, and I guess Kyrie did it. They're in a different spot. Right. He likes being in Dallas, and he gives more options to Dallas. But yeah, to your point, he could get that same contract on the open market. Why?
Yeah.
And he likes being close to home.
Yeah. Why, I guess, help the Kings? And again, if you do that deal, what are you getting back in return? Because the other team feels like, well, we're doing you a solid because we're taking the contract off, and maybe it's not looked at. Yeah, I mean, you ain't getting a first or anything like that for him. So Scott Perry I believe he will wait it out, but it was an interesting thought that I had just as far as it's just something I hadn't thought about.
Yeah, and these are things that Scott is going to weigh, and he's going to, the word he uses is being very prudent, right? He's just going to keep an eye on all these different options that he has. But with Zach LaVine specifically, like, I have faith that Perry is in full control. He's let us know that he took this job with full autonomy and full decision-making power, but I don't blame any Sacramento Kings fan. I would feel the same way. If we start and we've already heard rumblings of a potential Zach LaVine contract extension here in Sacramento. Yeah. That's sending off alarm bells in my head of, is that Scott Perry's decision or is that ownership's decision? And fair or not, that's how it's going to be judged based off of what happened over the last year and a half. So I'm very excited about how Zach LaVine is playing in preseason. To me, Zach is showing the offensive side that you absolutely need from him. He needs to be the tip of the spear offensively, and he's made some good plays defensively. I'm seeing buy-in. I'm seeing progress, but not enough for Scott Perry to go, okay, let's find a way to keep you around here long term. I just don't think it makes sense.
Yeah, I guess it depends, and I'm trying to remember off the top of my head how much Kyrie, the AAV dropped, because I think that's the other thing. Zach right now, let's just round it to the middle, about 45. I don't think are you getting him for 3 more years at 35? Probably still higher than that, right?
Taking the 50 and restructuring with a new team later. Yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Right. Well, what you're also doing is hanging out with Whitey Gleason for the next 4 hours. Come on, Whitey, that was a good one. Kyle, Senor Segway. Senor Segway strikes again. Thank you.
Yeah.
Jeez, talking to Jay back there. Whitey Gleason, Matt George, Jay Johnson for the next 4?
Yeah, Kyle's mad because I sided with you on the Mad Bum versus.
Yeah, see,
Snellzilla
now he's
thing.
not
I'm
giving me
sorry.
my drops.
I forgot Snell. Also, Padres fans don't like Snell either.
Yeah, now he's not giving me my drops. Thank you to Keith Smith. Thank you to all the callers, texters, sack chatters. Thank you to Kyle. Great job as always. Drive Guys coming up next, so you better not move. I know I'll be listening. Until tomorrow, secure the bag. Like the beam.
Podcast.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
For the latest from Kings training camp.
Tune in to